Welcome, welcome. And I spelled that person's name wrong. I'm doing good today. T67810. And hello to my YouTube buddies, my YouTube fellas and gals. Yay! I am live on, but not in YouTube. Check over here, make sure everything's okay. I'm sorry you guys are getting the tiny screen over on YouTube. There's nothing I can do about it. It's like, oopsie. I'm sorry YouTube. There's nothing I can do about it. Gotta turn that down so I don't ricochet. Okay. So I will check over from time to time. So the first book I have is called Black Rainbow by Barbara Michaels. This is a 1991. Definitely used in dark pages if you're a crafter, you like this because you could just use the book. If not, you just know it's loved because it's used. So this book is action and suspense. It's called In the Light of a Gilded Moon, a mysterious black rainbow framed the hundred towers of Greyhaven Manor, a vision of ominous beauty that seemed to warn Megan O'Neill of a darkness within. As the estate's new governess, her apprehensions were banished by a warmth of Manville family, but Megan's growing obsession for her darkly handsome employer blinded her to the terrifying truth of Greyhaven. Now Megan's about to learn the price of desire. So that is the first one. Wait, welcome in, Rachel Relics. Oh my God, I can't talk tonight. So we will start the auction. And as far as YouTube is concerned, I will check when I can. So stay in the stream and say hello. I'm tongue-tied tonight. They have been having some great sales going on for the 4th. It's been awesome. Okay, so that is book 1 in the action suspense. Please read the notes when you come in. The show notes. So here is book number 2. Book number 2 is called White Cargo by Stuart Woods. It is a 1988. And don't forget, I go through and check to make sure you get all your pages. This is just my little receipt back here. Okay, so this is about, they should have killed Catledge, but they let him live while they savagely brutalized his wife and daughter, let him live while he sent his yacht and his family to the bottom of the Caribbean. Let him live knowing he could never find the killers in the drug towns of Colombia. Then late one night in the States, the phone rang and one word gave Catledge something to live for. One word that launched a one-man war against a ruthless outlaw. So that is what this book is about. And it is running. Well, welcome in, welcome in. And hey to my YouTube people too. Hey, Wingman. Hey, Ty. You get to come and see me over here. I'm still building up. It takes time. I'm still learning the ropes over here. So that was Wingman. I'm loving it that you get to come visit me. And welcome, welcome. Hey, Divs, DVISK. How to say that word. Sometimes people don't have their sound on because they're at work, and that's okay too. It happens. And if you don't buy and you come hang out, I'm still happy. Hey, Cowboy Coffee Table. That's a cute ID. Okay, so the next book we have, I'm in the action and suspense, but if you see anything that you're interested in, please feel free to let me know if you want to see a specific book. This one here is called The Straw Men by Michael Marshall. A masterpiece, as by Stephen King is quoted. This is a 2002. The book is in really good condition for a used book. It says, three seemingly unrelated events. These are the first sign of an unimaginable network of fear that will lead one unlikely hero to a chilling confrontation with the straw man. No one knows who they are or why they kill, but they must be stopped. Michael Marshall's electrifying debut novel is an instant masterpiece of modern suspense, an epic thriller for anyone who has feared that someone is watching us. Ew, creepy. And this is starting at a $2 bid. It's definitely a cute ID. Welcome, Astral. Thanks for stopping by. And the next book we have is called Meg. And this is a novel of deep terror. This is from 1997. It says, many years ago, in a top secret scientific exploratory dive into the Pacific Ocean's deepest canyon, Jonas Taylor found himself face to face with an ancient monster too horrifying for his modern mind to contemplate. He was the sole survivor of the creature's wrath that day, left with the almost imaginable belief that the attacker was a real Meg, the prehistoric, we'll just say CM, Megalodon, but I don't know that first word. At the expert sneered at the thought of Meg, but she's indeed all too real. Now something has stirred her from the ocean depths. The ancient creature is rising, hurtling toward the surface in a deadly fury, ready to churn the tides of terror. So this is like a monster suspense type of book. Hey, Flaming Finds. You do? It's a series? Ooh, I didn't know this was a series. Sometimes books will tell you that they're a series, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes when I look them up to try to find like the dates and stuff or different things about them, but yeah, it doesn't say it's a series. But I do try to list them in the description when they are. Well, I hope not. That would be terrible. Okay. So the next book we have is called Subterranean by James Rollins. And when I do go through these books and I do price them, it's according to like what I would pay for them. Because some of them, even though they're a newer date, they look like they got like aged. See how that's brown around it? But I always show stuff. That's why this one's going to start at $1. This is a $19.99. It says a hand-picked team of specialists makes its way toward the center of the world. They are not the first to venture into this magnificent subterranean labyrinth. Those they followed did not return. Into the darkness where breathtaking wonders await you and terrors beyond the imagining, revelations that could change the world, things that should never be disturbed. And there you have it. Subterranean. Oh, I don't care. You can mess all you want. I like jokesters. My dad's a jokester. He was always telling jokes. I had a very good upbringing with a happy person, which is so nice. Instead of these grumps that needs coffee before they speak to you, he sang. My dad used to think he had the Elvis going on. He was a riot. On holidays, he would sing Peter Cottontail. On Easter, oh, he was so much fun. He still is. Okay, so the next one we have, this is called Stalemate by Johansson. No one leaves this game alive. This is a 2008. I just make sure you don't get any ripped page books. I've had a few show up like that. Her skill at identifying murder victims was world renowned, but Eve Duncan worked only for law enforcement and the families of innocent victims. The man on the other end of the phone was anything but law abiding or innocent. She already turned down his offer twice, but the third time it comes with a grisly warning. Forced to accept, Eve will leave everything and everyone she loves to travel alone to the luxurious armed compound of one of the world's most wanted criminals to identify a skull he's recovered. She's agreed to the devil's bargain to save an innocent family, but also for a reason she can't admit to the police, to the CIA, to anyone. For the man in the Colombian jungle promises Eve what she wants most of all, the key to solving the most painful mystery of her past. So it looks like a good one. I wish I could read them all. Wish I had the time to read them all. I used to read like over 200 books a year. I mean, I love books, but it's been hard with my schedule lately to sit down and read a book. Hey, welcome in, Frankie Page. Welcome, welcome. If there's anything you're interested in, please feel free. If you're looking for any authors, let me know too. I have a list that I started for people looking for certain people. I have to go through boxes. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of books. Okay. So the next one we have is another Johansson. This one is called Blind Alley. What waits at the end will kill you. This is a 2005. Her job is to put a face on the victims of violent crimes, but as forensic sculptor, Eve Duncan works on the skull of a newly discovered victim. She's about to get the shock of her life. The murdered Jane Doe's farce has been erased beyond recognition, but whoever killed her wasn't trying to hide her identity. The plan is far more horrifying, for as Eve's skilled hands reveal the murdered girl's face, she recognizes someone she knows all too well, someone who isn't dead yet. To stop this twisted psychopath, Eve must put her own life in the balance, but that's not the worst of it. When her adopted daughter, Jane, reveals a bizarre connection to the case, Eve can't stop her from joining the hunt for the killer, a hunt that will lead to a terrifying confrontation. So this is a $2 start bid. My most exciting night on here was when I had to meet the goal of making $150 versus $150 that they match as a new seller. It was crazy, but I did reach the goal and it was a lot of fun, but it was really fast. So that's that one. The next one we have is called The Servants of Twilight by Dean Koontz. I love Dean Koontz books. This has got some highlighting or white out for some reason. And then this is a 1984. And this one is, he puts his inside. An ordinary parking lot in Southern California, Christine Scalivo and her 6-year-old son were accosted by a strange old woman. I know who you are, she snaps at the boy. I know what you are. A scream of threat, then a grotesque act of violence. Suddenly, Christine's pride and joy, her only son, is targeted by a group of religious fanatics. They breed in him the Antichrist. They want to kill him, and they're everywhere. The Servants, Twilight. So we will run this one. Hey, the short Mexican, welcome in. I love the IDs on here. I'll be right back. I gotta check my YouTube real quick. I'm live in both places, so give me a second. I want to say hi. Bud Files! Hey, welcome, welcome. And Kyle! I'm glad you guys stopped by. I like my YouTube people too. I miss you guys. Hopefully in the future I'll get my schedule arranged better. I got to get back to crafting too. I miss crafting. Okay. I'm going to run this one more time. I'm kind of like in between both. Hey, Evolution 3. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Ray Ray, Thrifting Things. Oh, yes. That would be these. I think I only have like, let's see, 8 left. 6. Yeah, I have 8 left. And this is what one of them looks like. If you want to see what one looks like, they're actually in my buy it now. And if you want to negotiate, let me know. But I'll tell you this, they're pricey. There was a guy selling these on Facebook for $20 a piece. And like I've shopped around and they're like in the thousands. But this actually came from a local law firm. And they are St. Paul West Publishing. This one's 1935. And this is, they got all kinds of goodness in them. And I've had people ask me to gut them, and they have repurposed the covers and turned them into stuff. And then there's keys on them where people use to make tags with these. They're really cool books. But I have exactly 8 left. And this is Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. It tells you what states they have the laws in. This is what a crafter did with one of the other covers. They like taking and making them into journals. But, you have your collectors and then you have your crafters. So, but I still have these ones intact. So if you are interested, just let me know. The next book I have is called The Lake House by James Patterson. I do like James Patterson books. This one's got some brownage on it. This is a 2004. Let me get it pinned here. And this one is the memorable story began in When the Wind Blows, continues in this thrilling new novel, and it's one that really soars. Freddie O'Neill, a Colorado veterinarian, knows the terrible secret that will change the history of the world. Kid Harrison, an FBI agent under suspicion, has seen things that no one in his right mind would believe. A 12-year-old girl named Max and 5 other incredible children have powers we can only dream of. These children can fly, and the only place will be safe is in the lake house, or so they believe. So that's this one. And after I do this next one, I'm gonna share a tip and show an example of something that when a person's out looking for books and you're out thrifting or whatever, and you look at hardbacks, these are the things, and this is why I lift the covers and show you guys the things that I do. I have reasons. Okay, so the next book is, and two, I'm on YouTube, so I like sharing tips there too. This one here, this looks like such an interesting book. I don't know, I debated on this one. It's called Don't Tell by Karen Rose. It doesn't even look like it's ever been read. It's so new. And it's a 2006. And it says, don't look. It was a desperate plan, because I don't even feel a crease back here. But Mary Grace Winters knew the only way to save herself and her child from her abusive cop husband was to stage their death. Now that all the remains of their former life is at the bottom of the lake. Don't trust. Armed with a new identity in a new town, she and her son have found refuge hundreds of miles away. As Caroline stored, she has almost forgotten the nightmare she left behind 9 years ago. She's even taking a chance on love with Max Hunter, a man with wounds of his own. But her past is about to collide with the present when her husband uncovers her trail and threatens her hard-won peace. Step by step, he's closing in on her and everything and everyone she loves. That kind of sounds like a Lifetime movie, but it looks like a good one. Welcome in, lovely Kawaii. That's a cute name. Well, my welcome was cut off. Oh well. It happens. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So this is a tip. Let me get this over here. I got stuff in the bin. You can do tips and you can do like even crafting's under crafting if you want to, as long as you have stuff in your bin to sell. I don't think Whatnot cares so much, but this is a good example of a book that I picked up. Okay. This is a nice hardback by the looks of it. It says Where the Children Are, a novel by Mary Higgins Clark, which she writes really good books, suspense type books. So I'm going to take this paper towel, and I got a water bottle here because I'm going to show you something. This is why I always particularly look under covers. This actually was given to me by somebody that collected some books from a dorm room. See this when you open it? See this? That's called powdered mold. So when I go shopping, it doesn't matter where it's at. I just have a habit of looking. So what I try to do to give a book a chance, because this will probably, I don't know how this is going to turn out. But I take a paper towel and I wet it with some water. This is what I do to try to save a book first. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then I have some Clorox cleaner. And I'll tell you another thing that helps too is if you have a freezer bag, once you clean a book like this, if you want to try to, is you put it in a freezer bag and you stick it in your freezer and you see if it'll come back or not. And this is how I test books. Just lightly, because you don't want to bleach it either, but for reading purposes. And then if it doesn't turn out, it's okay, because I can take the pages out because there's no mold on the pages. It's just right here. So this kind of gives you an idea what we go through as booksellers too, when we find stuff like this. And you don't want to do the sun because it will make it multiply. So what I do is I try to save the book as best I can. And I will leave the jacket off of this to see if this mold comes back. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on how bad the book is. But most of the time when I find a book like this, I'm not going to sell it. This is just to give you an idea of what we come across. It's interesting because just by looking at the cover, you would never know that mold was on this book. But more than likely what I try to do is I try to save it. I might read it. Then I'll eventually probably tear this one up and use the pages out of it for crafting. But the book board will be tossed if the mold comes back. because it's on the page. It's sad when this happens, but it does. But I actually received this like this, so, and I kept it when I saw it, because I go through every single book. I keep them separated from my other books, but the jacket actually protected from it spreading. But when you get mold inside the pages, the book is pretty much done. I'll go around and pull pages out that are still good, but all the pages that gets mold goes in the garbage. And I don't even attempt to recycle this. See, that won't even come off the jacket. So this just gives you some tips on some things we go through. Now, if this wasn't on the inside here, I would clean the outside and wait. And as long as it didn't come back, it'd be okay. But since it's in, you can't, there's nothing you can do with that. So it's like a perfectly good card back at one point that's pretty much wasted. So I just wanted to share that tip to always check, because you never know what you're getting when you're thrifting and stuff. And in stores. I do it in stores too. It's a habit. Okay. So that's my book tip of the day. Next. Hey, two crazy ladies. And hey, CL, welcome in. The next set of books that I will be running, these are romance. This one here looks funny. This is called Grin and Bear It by Leslie LaFoy. This is a 2005 romance, but it's hysterical. I bear ate my ex, and that's okay. I just think that's so funny. Anyways, it says, question, how am I a smart, confident, and did I mention innocent woman supposed to act when smack dab in the middle of my messy divorce, the single-engine plane of my soon-to-be ex-husband crashes into the mountains of Montana's Bitterroot National Forest, and I become the prime suspect in his disappearance. Did I also forget to mention that there was no body? There is a strong possibility it's been dragged away by bears. Yes, bears. Answer, Grin and Bear It. Like I've done most of my adult life, only now I've decided I'm going to be the one asking the important questions, see above, and not taking any answers at face value. This looks like a funny book. I thought it was funny. But foxing on a book is okay. When you get the little specks, those are fine. They're not harmful. It's mold you have to be careful of. Go over here real quick to my YouTube live. Welcome in everybody over there too. Okay, so the next book we have, this one is called Unforgettable by Roseanne Bitter. I love this feather. Oh, that feather is so pretty, and you can actually feel it. It's like debossed where it's lifted. It's got a little condition there. It's a 1993. Definitely a well-loved book. Unforgettable orphan at a tender year, sassy, sweet Allie Mills fought her way to the dusty plains of Oklahoma. No one was going to keep her dreams of independence, not even tall, rugged Ethan Temple. The Cheyenne half-breed stirred feelings deep inside her, tempting Allie to surrender to his strong embrace. Was Ethan a man she could trust, willing to cherish her without taming her, a lover who could satisfy her body and soul without trying to conquer her heart? So there's that book. If anybody has any questions or you're looking for anything, please feel free to let me know. And the next romance book we have is called Golden Eye by Malcolm McDonald. This is like an older book, definitely. It is 1981. It's got a little white line over here. But like I said, they're used book. It's got a little bit of schmutz right there on the pages. It says, from the Highlands of Scotland, where beautiful and passionate young Catherine Hamilton finds her father's wrath, fled her father's wrath, and her uncontrollable desires to the great Canadian plains where Catherine came during a raging epidemic of Spanish flu, took as her lover the town doctor she was aiding at the hospital, a married man old enough to be her father, then defied him by marrying his fiercely ambitious, hard-driving son. Wow, that's a hot mess. There you go, Ty. Hot mess romance. To a whole world of joy and sadness, triumph and tragedy, war and peace, in the most exciting, enthralling, and multi-generational novel yet by the best-selling creator of the Stevenson saga, Malcolm McDonald. So there is that book. Hey, I'll be crafting. Welcome, welcome. I love your name. It's so cute. It's very inventive. You're welcome. So you don't even have to put a note on your door. You just, I'll be crafting. No, do not disturb for her. She just tells it like it is. The next book we have is called The Thrill of Victory by Sandra Brown. I love these butterflies. Sometimes I just love the art on the books you find. 1989. Her life is on the line. Stevie Corbett is in jeopardy of losing everything she's sacrificed and worked so hard for, her career, her future, her life. She has just 2 weeks to make a monumental decision, but her fate rides on keeping the truth a secret. It's Judd Mackey's job to uncover secrets, and he spent the last few years dodging Stevie, exposing her for the spoiled glamour girl he believes her to be. Now he has a chance to scoop the story of the year and let the whole world know the truth about Stevie. All he has to do is betray her trust. Lifetime movie books. Welcome in, Goldman. Oh, you're quite welcome. Welcome in, Clara. And whoever's on my YouTube channel, hello. At least tonight I'm not bouncing offline. Last time I tried to do this, I was bouncing all over the place. It was terrible. I had to restart my live 3 times last week. We had a terrible torrential storm. It was awful. Okay, so the next book we have. Ooh. This one here, when I first saw the cover, I thought it was an action suspense, but it's actually a romance. The Silken Web by Sandra Brown. It's got some rating in it. Definitely well loved. 1992. It's got a little corner crack right there. One woman, two men, all trapped in the silken web. Kathleen, a young sophisticate, marrying one man while still in love with another and hiding her turmoil behind her elegance. Eric, a talented videographer who let Kathleen know he found women easy to seduce but not to marry. South is a wealthy heir to the department store fortune who could give Kathleen everything she wanted except true fulfillment. Now all would be caught in a web of lies so fragile that one fateful encounter could tear it apart and force Kathleen to make a choice between the family that needs her and the needs of her own heart. So there's that one. Well, hello, Noah84. How are you? Doing pretty good. Making it through this hot weather. We had a cool flash. Now we got a hot one. Our weather keeps going crazy. Up and down, up and down. Pretty corn! What are you doing, Missy? Oops, let me get you in here. Why does it remove our moderators? I don't know why it does that. I'm a slow seller. Yeah, I'm going to try to have 3 in 3 days. This is going to be a miracle in 3 different categories. It's going to be interesting. I got to get out of the hole. I'm like $2 or $3 in the hole over here from doing giveaways. So this has got a mark down here. Pride of Lions by Susan Barclay. This is actually a 1999 romance. And it says, a blood feud had ruled her lands for more years than anyone could remember, and Allison Murray, chieftain of her clan, would not rest until her murdered kin were avenged. Yet the sight of Hunter Carmichael as he rode from the midst of her enemies gave her pause, for the king's man had proven his bravery in the face of certain death and captured her unsuspecting heart. Allison Murray stirred Hunter's blood in a way no woman had before, for the magnificent beauty was living proof that ancient warrior queens had once roamed the Scottish hills. Yet would a woman so hell-bent on vengeance ever willingly lay down her sword and give in to the passions that now raged between them? Well, I'm like literally broke. I was hoping I could get that Jack and Jill magazine over in what's her face's thing, but I just couldn't go any higher. We got $14 left in our account. We'll have more tomorrow because I had to deposit a check today. But oh man, I told my husband we had a check come in the mail. We get mineral right checks. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, it's nobody's business really, but I don't mind sharing. And so we never know when we're going to get it. So we were down to the last nitty gritty, and I had to stick it in the bank today, but it doesn't hit till tomorrow because our bank does this in processing thing. Ever since I started shopping on Whatnot Printy, it like broke my bank. We never saw in processing until I started shopping on here, and I think it's because you know it hits the bank so fast when it was doing it like one at a time. So yeah, it's crazy. So I put it in the bank today because I told my husband we had no money for food. I said we got to have money for food to grill. And he saw the check come in the mail, but he didn't put it in because the bank's on his way to work. So I had to rush down. I'm talking the last 10 minutes because it closes at 5 o'clock to put the money in the bank. Should see me run around with my head chopped off today. Hey, a woman. Hey, Kiki Berry. Hey, Mar. So I'm trying to get out of the hole over here. And I have learned how to do things a little different from some of the most experienced people. Thank God. 586 and 587, sure. Did I run this one? Yeah. Okay. 586. Are you in my kids' books? Yeah, she likes the kids' books. Okay. Yes, these are cute. This one here is called The Three Coats of Benny Bunny, and it is an easy reader. It's got a little bit of stuff there. It's a good crafter's book if you want to tear it apart, but look how cute the pictures are. They got like the brown. They're adorable. This is the oldest, 1968 is how old that book is. That's like, I was 2 years old. No, I was a year old when this came out. So that's too funny. Isn't it awesome though? I thought it was so cute when I saw it. And I'm thinking, ooh, gotta run this. I was trying to guess which ones I thought you'd pick. Thank you for your bid. You're taking me out of the hole, Prinny. But Pingy gave me some tips on how to do the giveaways when they first started too. So it's nice when you get feedback. That's awesome though. Thank you, thank you. So put this aside for Prinny. Let's see over here. And the next one was 7. Let me find it. Oh, that's too funny. I did pick this one. I thought she's going to like this because of the garden. That's too funny. First tomato, A Voyage to Bunny Planet, Rosemary Wells. This has got beautiful graphics. Look how cute. Stuck in the pajamas. These are so cute. Look at those little PJs. It's the plaid. Look how pretty. Oh, that's so sweet. On the bench. I can't help but I got to go through and look. Look at that hat. I love the images in this. It's adorable. Look, he's smelling his tomato. It says, delicious. There's a story behind tomatoes with my one grandson. He thought it was an apple. And he picked it up, Prinny, and took a big bite out of it. And you should have seen the face he made. This is in 1992. He gave the worst. I said, "Would you think that was an apple?" He did. His face was like, "This is nasty." Thank you for your bid. Oh my gosh, it was funny. My grandson, Steven. Oh, hubby. He sent me a message. He says he's off for the 4th. He works the 5th and the whole weekend. Well, poo. Ugh, they work him to death, I swear. He's never off. But at least we'll have a good meal tomorrow. Thank you for your bid. Pretty took me out of the hole. Yay! I'll have to leave that money sitting there so I don't go back into the hole. Well, welcome back, Evolution. Thank you for coming back. So the next book we have, this is kind of like, it's a romance, but it's a mixture, kind of. All right. You go craft, Pretty. I miss craft and I don't have time right now. This one here is called The Eagle and the Raven by Pauline Gedge. And it's really interesting because it's got like a, I don't know, just a different kind of mixture. This is a 1980, definitely a thicker book. And it says, her name was Boudica, beautiful highborn with her flaming red hair, matched by her fiery spirit. She was held in check only by the caution of her royal husband, as the legions of imperial Rome under Claudius Caesar marched under Britain. What am I thinking? The word. This reminds me of Gods and Goddesses, those type of books. I took a class in this. I can't remember what the heck it's called. But as the English rebel chiefs fell one by one, only Boudica was left to lead a desperate people in history's proudest and most passionate fight for freedom. Here is a tremendous epic that sweeps from the valleys and mountains and still barbaric Britain to the classic grandeur and corruption of Claudius's Rome. Here is an unforgettable drama of a warrior queen torn between love and destiny. She laid aside her woman's robes and lifted her sword, or knights and that kind of stuff. Hey, Unbert Sales, GB Casserole, and Tammy G. We got another Tammy in here. Yay! Welcome in, everybody. So that was The Eagle and the Raven. If you see anything, feel free to let me know. This one here is called Worship the Wind by Mitchell Kane. It is a 1979 book. It says, Paul Abbott, the brilliant surgeon who narrowly escaped being killed for a crime he hadn't committed, suddenly found himself in love with a beautiful quadroon woman. She had defied her master to be with him. Michaela sensuous and loving, she became the pawn in a terrifying game of vengeance between two men she desired. Leon Jacquard, attractive in a savage, sinister way, he murdered and robbed to gain his riches. Losing his wench to Paul filled him with an unquenchable thirst for revenge. Yill. Sounds like a crazy book. And we will start it at $1. Welcome in, Leslie, even though you never spit, you never say anything. You never type hello or nothing. You just come in and leave. But hello. Thanks, everybody, for coming in and spending some time. That's okay. Your picture still reminds me of somebody I went to school with back in the day. And then the next book we have, these are old. This is an older one. Look at that. The jacket's like literally coming off, but it protected the book very well. This Land I Hold by Virginia Myers, and I just left it there If a person buys it, they can do what they want. Usually if a book falls apart like this, I'll take this part and like glue it right inside. But this is actually from 1950. I love reading the older books because they're written in such a different style compared to today's books. Yes, her name was Leslie too. That's what was funny because every time I saw your name come in and your picture looks like her. It's a girl I went to school with. It was in my old neighborhood when I was a kid. So this book is about, it's a story of a woman who knew what she wanted. More than this, when her desires were encountered to one another, she knew which one she wanted most. She was beautiful and ambitious, and she was tough resilience in her that kept her from being pushed off the chosen path by an opposition. Because she was determined and single-hearted, she was at a formidable little power. Magdalena Estrada was in for a series of shocks when she first came back to Los Angeles. Her godparents had kept her for 15 years in a convent in Mexico, where she'd been given a lady's education. In all this time, her true parents had not communicated with her. Only her godparents had written. Their letters were full of affection, were short on facts and news. She knew very little of the changes that had come to Los Angeles in her American role, and she knew even less of her own family's fortune. She was 19 when she came home and little prepared for what she found. None of her family met her when the ship docked. It was several days before she could join them, and when she did at last, they were a numbing surprise. Her brother Santos was the hardest to understand, a man of unreasonable pride, charming or ill-mannered as the mood took him, willful and untamed. The convent dreams vanished like morning mist. No broad acres, no gracious ranch house awaited her. Her family would be a handicap to her. In herself, Magdalena recognized for the first time a telltale mark of strain of Indian blood. In the layered castles of that day in California, she was cut off from the life she had expected, for which she had been educated. She could depend only on herself to rise above her birth and blood. This is just my post-it note, so don't think I wrote in it. But this California of many men and few women, her beauty and femininity were weapons she could use. 3 men made offers of marriage, an Indian whose male beauty set her blood singing, and it tells you about each of the men. I'm not going to go into details if a person wants to buy the book, but it is old and it is awesome. Well, hello there. Hey, Peace BWU, and welcome back to everybody. The 1950s books, don't forget, but this here, you can do whatever. I try to leave it together. Is everybody having a good 4th? You get any special plans? I want a cookout. That's what I want tomorrow. Hey, JG Love, welcome in. If you are interested in anything, please feel free to let me know. Oh no, that's terrible. Are you in Florida, Leslie? I actually have a father-in-law that lives in Pensacola. That would be terrible. Oh, I have family that lives in Houston. I got family all over the place. Ugh, that's awful. We had it cool down. I put a couple chairs out by a tree and me and my dog sit outside. Are you peace? That's awesome. Hey, Rick. Yeah, my father-in-law lives down there. My husband just flew down there to see him. He's not doing very well. So he went down to visit him to get a visit in. But I'll tell you what, ticket prices are high. It's like double from last year. But, yeah, he is going on dialysis, so he wanted to go down and see him because you just never know. You know, life's too short. But we had a really good day like yesterday and the day before, and then the heat came back. The humidity is what gets me. You know, it's like we had like a little wind today, but it was blowing hot air, and it was like, oh, welcome in, welcome in. I'm in the top of West Virginia. I'm like close to Pittsburgh Airport. This here is Lusty Wind for California. I actually love the cover of this book. Look how pretty that book is. That's etched into the book. Isn't that cute? So this is actually from 1944. So this is actually even an older book than the last one, and the jacket's still hanging in there. It's got its issues, but these jackets were so pretty back in the day. But this book, well, thanks, Leslie. Welcome in, Rainbow. This says, I'm only going to read part. It was not hope of easy wealth that decided Robert Fontaine to secure a land grant in North Carolina. Protestant England had ceased to be a haven for Huguenot who had been driven first from France after the revocation of the Edict of Nantes, and then from Ireland because he was a master craftsman and Irish weavers resented foreign rivalry. Jealousy had followed him even to Bristol, where he had hoped life would bring. Can you hear that? Somebody's letting off fireworks outside my house. Peace and security for his valid wife and lovely daughter Gabrielle, an old acquaintance, Robert Mainwaring, on a visit to England from his Albemarle plantation, paid into Fontaine a glowing picture of life in the country, free from old world hates and intolerance. So that's what this book is, kind of like a mixture of history and a romance story. Well, that's good. Hey, Invoke. Yeah, we have a couple chairs sitting out behind, under a tree out here. We have a maple tree, and I take my dog out and sit with her. She looks forward to it. It's funny because now when I take her out, because we don't have a fenced-in yard, so I take her out when she's got to go, and she directly goes to those chairs wanting to sit outside. She's so funny. It's the most beautiful up here in the fall. The fall is so beautiful up here. It really is. It's the changing of colors and everything is just stunning. If anybody else comes in over on my YouTube, please say hello. I'm live on both platforms. Okay, so we are done with romance. If there is anything in the bin you are interested in, please feel free to let me know. My romance back over here. You guys and gals are helping me sort all my books and totes as I go through boxes. I can put the genres together finally. I told this story in a past live. Of how water keeps trying to chase my books down, and I've had to save them. I'm hoping my dog doesn't freak out because she hates fireworks. Books, Bricks, and Keks, and Becky and Simer. Thank you for stopping. The next book I have, these are cookbooks. So we have the All-American Potato Cookbook. And this is actually from 1982. And if you don't keep the books, what I like doing is I'll get cookbooks. And then I'll write down the recipes that I like. And then I sell the book. So somebody else can enjoy the good recipes. But the pages in this are so cool. They're aged on purpose. Like it's in the book itself. But this got a lot of really good recipes in it. see if I can see a list. No content? What? Oh, what's in the back? We'll do the back part. Okay, the index. It's got all kinds of appetizers, applesauce potato bread, things I've never heard of. Bacon and potatoes, cauliflower, brown potatoes and cream. It's got all kinds of good ways. I never realized there were so many ways to make potatoes, but there are a lot. So we'll start this for 3 and welcome in everybody. User AE2D. Seems funny seeing a username pop in here. So that is the first cookbook. The next cookbook we have, if you're a person that likes winter soups, this is a bean, pea, and lentil cookbook. There's 150 creative recipes for soups, salads, and side dishes. So here is a really good book for beans. This is by Maria Louisa Scott and Jack Denton Scott. This is a 1991 cookbook. And we will run it. I hear a pow, pow, pow. Hey, Kay Waller. Thanks for the follows. So the next book I have, oh, this is perfect for right now. This is actually about grilling. So this is Food Raiders Favorites. It's a hardback. Save Party Planning Volume 3. Quick and easy recipes for grilling. It's a 1990 copyright. It says, time to fire up the grill and add some sizzle to your suppers in this collection of more than 150 tried and true recipes for outdoor dining. Grilled favorites such as ribs, chops, and burgers take on a new life with dozens of fresh recipe ideas from food editors and writers around the country. The people who write about food for a living have shared their personal favorites and regional specialties for this new collection that is sure to whet your appetite and wow your guests. The book is packed with quick and easy recipes for grilling all your favorite beef, pork, chicken, fish, seafood, even vegetables. There's one chapter brimming with hot new sauces, marinades, and rubs, and another packed with mouth-watering side dishes that will turn out any outdoor menu into a feast. Before lighting the charcoal, Check out the how-to tips and safety guidelines and other helpful hints in the introduction. Then grab your apron and start cooking. This book is cute. Okay. Let's see what it did. It's malfunctioning on me. Hold on. Welcome in. Let me stop and start. Whatnot's giving me issues already. I'm doing okay, Kyle. Thank you so much for stopping. You're so sweet. So here is the grilling book. Hey, Sam, it is. Welcome, welcome. So that was the grilling book. The last one that never ran is the bean, pea, and cookbook. And that would be this one. With all these fun recipes for winter bean soups. So that's what's running now. Next one's an interesting book. Okay. So this book is called The Tuna Fish Gourmet, 75 Delectable Dishes Starring America's Favorite Dish, Fish. Tracy Seaman with drawings by Victoria Roberts. This is actually a 2000 book, and it's got lots of ways to prepare tuna. Tuna has been known as an outstanding food budget staple, a comfort food, and a healthy favorite. The Tuna Fish Gourmet's 75 innovative, easy, and totally delicious recipe turn this fabulous fish into a meal sure to please even the most finicky eater. The recipes are versatile and varied as tuna itself, with such classics as tuna noodle casserole, herb tuna salad, right along with new dishes as tuna ratatouille, tuna pot pie, even desserts like tuna strudel, with charming drawings by New York cartoonist Victoria Roberts. This is an entertaining and practical cookbook to be used and enjoyed. So it's a tuna cookbook. Who would have thought there was a bunch of ways to make tuna? Welcome to Beer Man. Hey, Clara, and hey, Two Crazy Lazies. Thanks for coming back. there's anything you want to see, please feel free to let me know. I don't go in any specific order. It's all in my show notes. So the next book we have, it's a cute little cookbook. It's called Fix and Forget It. This was actually 50 slow cooker recipes by Current Magazine. I love Current stuff. They have cookbooks and stationery and all kinds of cool stuff. And this is from 1989. And as we run this, it gives you information for tips on your slow and timing of your slow cooker. Spanish chicken and rice, yummy, yummy. Italian meatloaf, tangy flank steak, garlic, mom's Sunday kitchen. Even the graphics in here are cool. The next one we have was popular in its day. This one is called Pascal's Kitchen Express. Fresh from his hit television series Fast and Fabulous Recipe by Chef Pasquale Carpino. This is volume 1. And this is actually from 1989. Lots of Italian foods in here. And it says, as a popular Toronto journalist once said, Chef Pasquale is a chef with a song in his heart. The statement is proven 5 days each week as he sings and cooks his way into the hearts of a viewing audience. And he's got a bunch of good recipes. So there is Chef Pasquale. Hey, Brittany B., welcome in. Hello, SJ. Welcome in. If there's anything you'd like to see, please feel free to let me know. So the next one we have is called Sensational Salads. And this is a 1996 book. Quick recipes for creative cooking. It has a chicken chutney salad, Mexican salad, Cobb salad, teriyaki beef salad, crabs, Louise Greek salmon salad, pineapple, puff bowl, all kinds of interesting salads, which is really cool. It's a different type of cookbook. So we will run the salads. There we go. Izzy! Thank you. Thank you. Oops. Thank you for sharing. Hey, Celtic Colleen. I don't know if that word is Celtic or Celtic. I've heard it two different names. How's your day going? I bet. I'm finally out of the negative on whatnot because of printing corn, thank God. Oh, I was like -3 in the hole for doing giveaways. So, one of the bigger YouTubers gave me some different advice that a person can try so that you don't go in the hole with the giveaways when she first started what she did. So that's what I'm going to try. Right now, it's just going to be more for like raiders and stuff. I just can't afford to keep doing giveaways all the time. What I don't understand though is like in the book section, I can't figure it out. Um, there was a lady that was giving out boxes of candy. How in the heck do you do that? You'd have to reset the shipping because you can't ship that media because everything I set up here is automatically media mail. And how I figured that out was I stuck a couple puzzle books as giveaways and they shipped media, which really that's illegal because you're not supposed to do crossword puzzles and stuff is not it's not supposed to be. You can't ship coloring books or any kind of puzzle books. And it did. It like bound them to the book orders, you know what I mean? It was just really weird. So I talked to Penguin Boss and her best advice, she said when they started, they would do like a postcard when they eventually got caught up. And she said that they would just take something in the buy it now or auction that was a higher price and they would start it as a dollar as a thank you for the raid. So that makes sense. I seen a lady do that in crafting where she did a scoop. She had like a bead scoop or gem scoops where she did a scoop and she did it, yeah, she did it for like a dollar as a thank you for the raid. So that's what I'm going to have to do until if I ever grow bigger. But the next 3 days, like I've been telling everybody, it's going to be 7 o'clock in the evening because it's the only time I have free to do it. I'm going to try to pull off 3 different sales in 3 different categories. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try because I'm trying to stay out of the hole and get a little bit of money built up into whatnot. So I'm not in the negative. That was horrible. And then the 19th, they're going to give me my match of $150 because I made my quota, which that made me happy. I'm telling you, people make it look so easy to sell on here, and it's not. It's not as easy as what people think it is. These people would have like 136 sales, 36 sales. I'm like, oh my gosh, how the heck did you get there? Prize winning cookies from current customers. And current, I love current. I just love current magazine, period. This is a 1990. And current magazines still exist, but they don't do the giveaways like they used to till like around Christmas. It used to be like if you ordered a bundle of stuff, you would get like a whole bunch of stuff put together. And I think they quit doing it because it probably got too costly. But they still do it around Christmas. I love their Christmas one because if you ordered like $50, that they like give you your tissue paper, your bags. They were amazing magazine. I've been ordering them from them for a long time. So welcome, welcome, welcome in. Anybody's looking for anything, let me know. This book makes me hungry. Prize winning cookies. Oh my goodness. Ugh, Izzy. But you still do good though. You have good stuff. People just need to come and find you. There's nothing like homemade items. Just keep sharing and hopefully we'll find our audiences. I know there's still readers out there too, you know. Um, I had people come into my yard sale asking for books, and I didn't have any out because it's so weird how even yard sales work. Welcome in, She Hulk, Snapostace, Books, Bricks, and Kicks. I love that name. It's weird because, like, I was telling my husband I had these salt and pepper shakers that hung like a vine. They were vintage. We put them out for 5 years before they sold. And then one time, my aunt used to bring books to yard sales all the time. We used to do group family ones. And one time, like 2 years in a row, like no book sold, but she never gave up. And then the next yard sale, some lady did a swap. She told my aunt, she says, I have a bag if you want to swap me your bag. So they did a swap. So this is helping me organize. It's like I was telling my daughter, we buy totes every payday for me to get the genres where they need to be. I'm unpacking boxes. So if anything, even if I don't sell anything, it's still good for me because it's helping me organize in my garage in the totes. And I love it because then for yard sales, all I have to do is pull the tote of kids, pull whatever totes, and I know where everything's at. So I'm loving this about doing the sale on here too. This is Americana Cookery, all illustrated cookbook of regional America's traditional recipes. Favorite recipes of home economics teachers. Oh my gosh, I loved economics. This was 1971 by Mary Ann Richards, and it is full of goodies. Lots of good recipes. It's got Hawaiian cooking. What did it say here? Okay. American cookery, Americana menus, New England, Pennsylvania Dutch, Southern, Creole, Southwestern, Midwestern, West Coast, and Hawaiian. So it's got a lot of good different styles. So I'm gonna put this out. Hey, Okie Sales. Yeah, I need to start posting these into my Facebook page too. I have some local peeps that like coming by and picking up stuff. My store's not open anymore. My physical store isn't open anymore because it's my craft room now. But they can come and look at yard sales and things like that. So it works. It works for me. And I finally got to put money in today into the bank. My mineral right check came in, so I put it in today. I told my husband, I said, I can't believe you didn't stick it in on your way to work. He goes, I didn't even see it. So it won't post until tomorrow. It says pending. Ever since I started Whatnot, we have pending. We have pending. Even when my husband's check comes in, it says pending. I think they slowed down our stuff because Whatnot was beating up my account. I literally have a book of bank paper statements. Seriously. No shopping on here. It's awful, Izzy. It really is. Hey, RV. Hey, Weavers. Cat Weavers. Welcome in. Hey, Melinda. Well, when it first happened, when I first started shopping on here, I don't know if it ever showed pending in the sales part, like some people go through. Hey, Tilted Books. That's a cute ID. But you know how it would just hit in your bank one at a time, like one. I was on a train, Izzy. This is like the worst thing ever. I was on a train and I couldn't buy a lot from one person. So I spread the love because there was some new sellers. So I would spend like one thing in one thing in another. I didn't care about free shipping. I was just trying to spread some love for some new people. And I was trying not to go over $20 for each one. It hit my bank so hard. I got a message pop up on my phone and I'm like, what? I had to go into the bank and tell them, please let Whatnot go through. Don't hold it. It's so funny because it smacked my bank because of different sellers. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Hey, Ohana and Zora. I know. So now they know that Whatnot's a part of my thing. I think it's like a regular bill now. They don't pay much attention to it now, but it was so funny. And I think that happens to a lot of people's banks. Like it doesn't know how to process it. Oh, Zora, I have Cash App, but that's a cool idea for people. Oh, that's okay. I always get at least readed once a day. I know a good bit of the muted words. So this is microwave cooking, and this is from 1992. Now I've never used a microwave to cook in. I've always used it just to heat stuff up, but this actually gives you recipes on how to cook in it. This looks like it's never been used. And this was from 1992. Even the microwave looks older. Look at that microwave. That's interesting though. Yeah, I've never tried it. I have never tried to cook in the microwave. I don't know. Even my slow cooker I have, but I need more recipes for that one. Because I do like cooking in my slow cooker. I'll make meatballs and Italian sausages and stuff like that. And there was one time I made a homemade vegetable soup in the slow cooker. Oh my gosh, was it good? But I can't remember what I bought. It was the meat. My mom's old fashioned recipe. There's nobody that beats my mother's soup. I have never met anybody that's beat my mother's homemade vegetable soup. They do that bone thing with a little bit of meat on it where she cooks it for like an hour. I have messages from her. I need to write it out as a recipe. And she would use garden stuff, but you couldn't cook all the vegetables together because some took longer. So you had to put certain vegetables in first. And then sometimes if she didn't have like all of it, because sometimes they didn't grow corn, she would add veg all just to make up for the lack of the vegetables that they didn't grow that year. Because my mother always canned and stuff. But her soup is so good. And I have never found a recipe online that matches it. So I tried this one and I tried this one recipe I saw. It was so nasty. I had to throw out the whole, it was just awful because it wasn't the soup bone. And then I tried this other one that I did in the slow cooker. It was pretty close, but not quite still. But it was interesting because it actually turned out pretty good in the slow cooker. But I couldn't remember the meat and I tried a different meat and it didn't work out as good. Hey, Winning. Are you back to torture me some more? Hey, Cat Rose. Welcome back. Welcome in all. We always have that one person that likes to pick on us. Hey, Catwell. Winning man's my picker. So, anyways, that's the last cookbook. But these were great. There was the microwave, the Americana, the cookies. I love cookies. Oh my gosh. Salads, but I don't eat junk all year round, so I look forward to them on the holidays. You know, like I love making apple pies. My apple pies are like a big hit around here. I mean, it's ridiculous. Here's Pasquale's Kitchen. Fix it and forget it. The tuna fish. We have the grilling, the bean, pea, and lentil, and the potato cookbook. That's what I had today. But I accidentally made an apple pie that was an accident. That's why everybody loves my apple pie, because I was trying to make another dish of a recipe I saw online and I messed up the recipe. Okay. But messing up the recipe, it turned into one of the best apple pies I've ever eaten in my life. So every year on Thanksgiving, I am like the pie fiend. Like, seriously. I usually make 6 apple pies and 6 pumpkin, because that's how much my people love my pies. It's awful. It's a lot of pie. But my best recipes have been accidents. Hey, Eric. It's too funny. And then I made a cookie recipe the same way. I have a cookie recipe I was playing with and experimenting, but they're made totally from scratch, and they're hard. They're not an easy cookie to make. And I have one from my grandmother's. The recipe called for lard. That's how old this recipe is. And it's instead of making the snaps of ginger, I have never eaten ginger cookies that taste like these. They're almost like a cake. This recipe she has, they melt in your mouth. They are so good. And coffee goes in the recipe. They're like the best cookies I've ever eaten, but it's there's not an exact measurement. It's the texture. And then you have to cut it with the cookie cutters to shape them. But you can tell by the texture when you're mixing it if it's going to turn out or not, if that makes any sense. But these cookies are so good. I sent some to Mike's aunt one year. I made them one time, and she was like, "Oh my God, these were so good." I said it was my grandmother's recipe. Well, thank you for the follow, Zora. Thank you for follows. Okay, so we're going into the kids section. We have Big Bird Can Share. And these books were very well loved, very well taken care of. 1985. I was surprised. It's got a little sticker thingy right there. But other than that, I don't have my sticker remover stuff down here. It's upstairs, or I'd remove it. But other than that, it's really good shape for being in the 80s. So we have a Big Bird Can Share book. And then my mother-in-law, she makes this. It's a German chocolate cake, but it's cinnamon. And she puts this icing on it. I mean, just the combo. It just, oh, it's like the best cake ever. She makes it for my husband every March. Hey, Crafted! Is this running? No, it's not. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm seeing people pop in on my computer, but not my phone. Because Whatnot's acting up, so give me a second. My husband wants to buy new phones. I'm about ready to, but I don't know if that'll fix the problem or not. I get some other stuff I got to take care of. I'm going to do some house stuff. Okay, give me a second. I had to force stop the app. Funko Pop Ohana! Gemma! Welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. Jimmy and Ohana. I miss you guys. One of these days I'll be back over crafting. Thank you for stopping by on my YouTube. Okay. Back to Whatnot. This is crazy. There we go. I have you back. Doing okay. It's hot again today, though. I'm hoping my dog isn't having a fit upstairs because they're letting off firecrackers. Okay, let me see if this will run. Yay! It's running. But her cinnamon cake, it's like, the only thing that's bad about it is this. She'll send it home, and when it's fresh as it is so good. But the type of icing she puts on it, it has to be refrigerated, and it dries out the cake. Like if you leave the cake sit out, the icing will melt because it's the type that needs refrigerated. It's not, a normal. She whips it up, and it's not like a normal icing. It's got a really good flavor to it though. But when we put the cake in the refrigerator to preserve the icing, it dries the cake out. So me and my husband try to leave it out as long as we can, and I try to cover it, but in this kind of heat, it would never make it. I told Michael he'd have to store it in the air conditioning room. Hey, Bubbles. Welcome in. Okay, so that is that book. Next book we have is the softback. And this one is pinned. Bernie and the Broken Teapot. Bert, I mean not Bernie. And this is 1985. And it's cute. He broke a teapot. And when you break something, you got to own up to it. I love Sesame Street. Sesame Street always reminded me of peanut butter cookies. I don't know why. It always made me crave it. My kids loved Sesame Street when they were kids. All the cute little characters. I like the Garbage Can. I like Oscar. Cookie Monster. I liked him too, though. Hey, Days Shop. So the next book we have is called Double Grubby. This is a Teddy Ruxpin book. These are in good shape too. Whoever took care of them did a good job. This is a 1985. It's got good graphics in it. So we have a Grubby. Hey, Marcus. Welcome in, everybody. If you see anything, you want to see anything, feel free to let me know. Thanks for the hearts. I love the hearts. I always give hearts in every stream I go in because they're just too cute. What was your favorite books when you were a kid? Of course, I liked horse books. This one here is another Teddy Ruxpin. It's called One More Spot. Painting a spot on the back of a ladybug. And this is also 1985. I got my little cheat sheets I can take out. My little post-it notes. So we have One More Spot. Oh, my kids love Goosebumps. Hey, Pratt. I would come home with a little slip of paper from the Scholastic filled with check marks. And my mom's like, Tammy, really? She says, now go back through and you could only have 5. or 3. And I'm like, but mom, because you have those little things you cut off and you could check mark the books you wanted. Oh, I miss those, and I miss weekly readers. I used to love smelling weekly readers had this smell. And textbooks, I don't know. I'm a sniffer. I always smelled stuff. Even in school, I loved the new textbooks. I'd stick my nose in it and sniff the book. And I see people do it on YouTube and laugh. My husband, though, we had this one talk on YouTube one time where my husband was talking about eating paste. I'm like, no wonder your brain's so sticky. And this lady was in this dream, and she says, that's hysterical. She says, because I used to eat paste too. I go, what? Why would you eat paste? That's like so nasty. I thought paste stunk. Oh my gosh, it's so funny listening to their stories. Another Teddy Ruxpin, the day Teddy met Grubby. Do you remember the day you met your best friend? This is cute. 1985 again. These books are so cute. This would be cute turned into a journal. Well, I can honestly say I never craved eating paste. But I did love the smell of gasoline. Oh, see, that's hysterical. Hey, Barwinky. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Now, we used to take mashed potatoes, or not mashed potatoes, but potato chips and smash it into our burgers. Like, with mustard and ketchup and pickles. It was really good. RV. But I like peeling the glue off my hands. I used to get glue on my hands and I would sit there and peel it off, and then I would add a little more just so I could peel it off after it dried. That was my thing. I never wanted to eat it though, Izzy. That's hysterical. I had a cousin that loved coal. I will never forget when she was a kid. I heard stories her mom said I bought her this beautiful white dress. And they caught her in the coal bin eating coal, and she had slobber and coal all over her brand new white dress. Oh my gosh, the stories are so funny. So this one here is, I don't know if there was a book collection that was like Dr. Seuss approved, because these are like Dr. Seuss up in the corner beginner reader type books. And this is Glasses for DW. And it's got like this Dr. Seuss logo in it. And then this book belongs to, this is cute. This is 1996 by Mark Brown. I could read it all by myself. It must have been something they did as a special for certain books where they were easy readers. I know, it's comical. I'm hoping my dog wasn't freaking out earlier because they were letting off firecrackers outside my window. I don't hear her digging. Oh gosh, one year I was down here on a live, and she really, really hates fireworks. My dog does. She was literally digging at the door. I thought she was going to dig a hole in it. Hey, Mrs. Modern Relics, welcome in. So that is that book. Here's my next kid's book. It's Arthur's Reading Race. And there's another one. It's got like the Dr. Seuss logo. This is from 1996 too. These are in really good shape. Not even any naughty kids wrote in them. That's what I always say. Those naughty kids writing in books like I did. I used to write in my books too. Had to have my name in them all. Hi, Lilacs. Welcome in, everybody. there's anything you're looking for, please feel free to let me know. Thank you for the follows. I love this platform for meeting people. I met some great people on here. So there's that one. And then the last one. This one here I found interesting because I never quite seen a book like this come through my store before. That's a sticker mark right there. Daddy Doesn't Live Here Anymore. It's a book about divorce. It's a golden learn about living. I thought this was really nice to add in. If kids, especially if kids have a hard time adjusting to divorce. This is a 1985. This is a good book. Something different. It has a collection. Never Talk to Strangers. I Had a Bad Dream. You Can Say No. Stay Safe. What Kind of Family Is This? Did Grandpa Die? Why are people different? Like, it's just really good. When a family goes through a divorce, it's a painful time for everyone, especially the children. This is a time when children need to talk about the anger, fear, and guilt they feel. Daddy Doesn't Live Here Anymore is a story that opens the lines of communication between parent and child. And because children hear so much about divorce, even children whose families aren't breaking up can even benefit from reading this book with their parents. And it says Michael Landon right on the back of it. That is so cool. I didn't even realize his signature was on this. By Betty Bocold. It's who this is by. So that's interesting. He endorsed this book. And now I'm stuck again. Give me a second. Welcome in to everybody that I'm not seeing on my phone. I appreciate you being here. See, this is what I got to do. I got to go into the apps and I've got to force stop, whatnot, and then come back to be able to see the chat again on my phone. It's why I don't want to run my phone in a live. There we go. All right, Izzy. So we will. Now it's running again. So sorry if I miss anybody that comes by for a visit. And hello to my YouTube people. I can't see the stream right now. Brady! Welcome in, welcome in. So that is that children's book. So we had Daddy Doesn't Live Here Anymore. All these Teddy Ruxpins. Bert, Big Bird. Okay. And now I believe I have educational left. Yes. So my first educational book is called The Gift. It's Imagination and the Erotic Life of Property by Lewis Hyde. It is a 1983. Great condition. The Gift is an inquiry into the place of creativity in our market-oriented society, starting with the premise that the work of art is a gift and not a commodity. Lewis Hyde's revolutionary book ranges across anthropology, literature, economics, and psychology to show how the commerce of creative spirit functions in the life of artists and the culture as a whole. The Co-Evolution Quarterly commented Hyde is able to fashion meaning from the atypical combination of sources to address our spiritual and emotional sides, revealing hidden realms of magic and mystery which affect our hearts as well as our pocketbooks. The groundbreaking work of literary anthropology is a daring, entirely original undertaking destined to have a profound impact on our understanding of the role of arts in our society. So this is interesting. I love psychology. And then it has the contents so you understand a little more. Some food we could not eat. 2, the bones of the dead. 3, the labor of gratitude. 4 is the bond. 5 is the gift community. 6 is a female property. 7, a history of gift exchange. 8 is the commerce of creative spirit. 9 is a draft of Whitman. 10 is Ezra Pound and Fate of the Vegetable Money in the conclusion. But it looks interesting. So that's the gift. The gift that keeps on giving. You believe I'm going to try to do a purse show? What was funny is I have some purses and some keychains and stuff I've got to try to resell. And I'm running one show. I'm trying to do 3 shows in 3 days. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off. And then the last one, I'm going to try to do a crafty supply one. But anyways, I didn't have enough purses. I told my husband, I said, I don't got enough purses to do a purse show. So then I went through my closet. And I didn't realize how many purses I had in my closet until I cleaned it. Because I have my closet that's in the bedroom, and then I have a closet that's in my computer room. And I have a habit of throwing all the stuff I'm not using in the closet in my computer room. So now I have enough. But I just want to try it one time. This is not something that I want to get into permanently. This is something that it's kind of like an estate downsizing. And I'm trying to get together certain things in my house I'm ready to let go of, but I don't want to put it into a yard sale here because people want too much less of what I want from them. So I'm going to try to do it on here first and see what happens. But I don't want to do like a complete estate down one because I have too many things. I don't have enough tables for it all. Hopefully at least have a yard sale. I mean, grilled food I meant. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. But Brainy, one purse I had in there that shocked me. I didn't know it was a brand name. Seriously. I had found this purse and I thought I love the color of it and everything. I'm going to make it a project one because I didn't realize when I got it home, there's a little piece coming loose that a crafter or somebody could probably fix it. The rest of the purse is like brand new. It's a freaking Liz Claiborne. I didn't even know I had a Liz Claiborne purse. I bought it because it has blue in it. But I didn't know it was a brand name because most of my purses I get cheap wise. But this one here, I had found it and it was just like, I didn't know it was I didn't even pay attention. I never pay attention to names. When I look at a purse, it's got to suit my purpose of what I like to carry. And I used to get the bigger ones. No, I didn't send you the picture of the Liz Claiborne. I just pulled it out of my closet yesterday. But I had I used to have like, where it come up over your shoulders. I'm not much for carrying one like right here. It has to go up over my shoulder, but I'm really in more to the crossbodies now. But it's funny because my purses were always over my shoulders. Like I always carried them over my shoulders. And now they're like too heavy. Like the purses, now that I'm getting older, I want something because I have osteoarthritis, so I have to watch. Because I'm telling you, my blue jean purse that I think I showed you a picture of, that could kill somebody. Like if I swung it at somebody's head, I would knock them out. That's how much crap is in that purse. But it's so heavy. Like cuz I carry like different things with me cuz you leave the dentist, they give you toothbrushes, toothpaste, and that purse gets filled so fast. And I do have a little book. I always try people and I recommend it is to get a tiny little book that you can write down your dates of surgeries, everything you've ever had done, and keep it in your purse. So when you go to a doctor's office, you have that right there. I have when my gallbladder was removed. I have every operation I've ever had done and what year I had them done in, so that whenever I have to fill out forms, I carry it in that purse. But now I'm to the point where I want something lighter. So these purses are going to be a little bigger for people that like them. But yeah, I have it's a little quilted one with a flap that I got off of Love Sunny. It's called Vera somebody. I love this thing. And the strap goes over your shoulder and then it carries I have the Juicy Couture black wallet I got from you, Brainy. It carries that, my phone, my keys, a pen, a little thing of paper, and that's what I take with me to every yard sale. Like every time I'm out and I want to do something real fast, that's the purse I grab. Yeah, Vera Bradley. Hey, John. So this book is called, I put these all in educational because to me, we can all learn stuff from them. So you're going to see that like kind of my books aren't categorized like most people do because I'm not normal. I make my own categories for what I want to go under. So this one is called Women in Pain, Why It Hurts and What You Can Do, include complementary and holistic remedies. And it's so funny because I had a cousin, Mark Young. Isn't that funny? It says Mark Young, MD. My cousin Mark died of Hodgkin's disease. So it's so weird seeing that name on this book. With Karen Barr. And it says, for back pain, osteoporosis, migraines, rheumatoid arthritis, and much more. And this is the book. And it is a 2002. And I have a story. The biggest book I ever sold out of my bookstore was this big. like I'm talking like this thick. If you would drop this thing, it would break your toe. And it was a hardback. And it was on everything that women go through in their life. And I said men's would probably be this big. But some girl came in and bought it. It was $20 and it was huge. Like this book was massive with information. So, my books are mainly cheaper, but it depends on the condition and what it's about and all that kind of stuff. I don't compare my prices to online books. Sometimes I look them up, but most of the time I look at it and think, what would I pay for it? And I think my other one was a Beatles coffee table book that I sold for $20. That was a collectible. Worth a lot more online, though. In Women in Pain, Dr. Mark Young presents readers with a unique blend of holistic and traditional remedies for fighting pain naturally. Dr. Young recognizes that women require a customized, compassionate approach to treatment. All too often, women are told that their pain is all in their heads. Oh, ain't that the truth? Or they blame cigarettes and your weight and they don't look any further. It gets so irritating. I'm always telling doctors off. But this book provides women with clear and concise explanation that fixes. Many different painful conditions affecting women are discussed, including back pain, menstrual pain, rheumatoid arthritis, migraines, and much more. This groundbreaking book can help women ease their chronic pain once and for all. And I literally did tell a doctor off for that because I know somebody that never smoked, was in fit condition, and died of a mass that came around his vital organs. And they said they had never seen that in a non-smoker. And you know what I told him is because you don't look any further. Every time you go to a doctor now, it's weight or smoking. Do you smoke? Are you overweight? And they blame that on everything. And it really ticks me off because they don't look any further. And it was my husband's uncle that died. He was fit. The guy never smoked in his life. Hell, I don't even think he drank. And yeah, he died of something they say they see in smokers. Well, he wasn't one. So, hey, Kristen. But yeah, it's just unbelievable. Hey, DT. Hey, Big Fish. Just like my aunt when she had Crohn's disease, um, she died with her liver failure. They called my aunt a liar, her sister, literally in the hospital saying there's no way she had Crohn's disease since she was 40 because according to the textbooks, they only live for 25 years. Well, do you know why? Because most of the time a Crohn's disease patient will die of infection. My aunt's daughter's an RN. She became an RN because her mother had so much sickness. With this Crohn's, she didn't understand. She sterilized all her stuff and laid it out on a tray, and that's what kept her alive longer. But yeah, the nurse was arguing. My aunt says, well, she did. Like her sister's sitting there while she's fighting for her life, and they're telling her there's no way she could live past this age. She goes, but she did. She wouldn't be in there dying right now if she was dead already. You know, it was crazy. I said, you can't always believe you can't take textbooks like that so serious when it comes to stuff because how many times have you seen people who've been on their deathbed that bounce back? You know what I'm saying? There's no law for that. But it is hysterical when they argue with you over stuff. God's going to take you when God's well and ready to take you. And I froze again. Give me a second. So this is like the 5th time I've had to force stop the app and come back on my phone to see text. It's crazy. Whatnot freezes on me constantly on my phone. Could you see me going live on my phone? I wouldn't last. Okay. Yep, I'm telling you. But you know, one of the best hospitals that I can honestly give a very high review is Cleveland Clinic. And I found it very interesting that if you watch Grey's Anatomy, the show Grey's Anatomy, they talk about Cleveland Clinic in the show because they are that good. That's who took care of my aunt the whole time she had her Crohn's, is her brothers and sisters would take her up, but that's not where she passed away. It was in a local hospital. She passed away where they had to argue, but yeah, she was treated by Cleveland Clinic and they were amazing. They're an amazing hospital. It's like a St. Jude's, but for adults. Because I love St. Jude's too. So the next book I added to my educational section is called Baby Changes Everything, Embracing and Preparing for Motherhood After 35. And this is a 1984 book. It's got a little sticker doo-doo back there. I don't know why they stick stickers on books. I'm always taking them off, especially the fronts. It says, more mothers of preschoolers are in their mid-30s and 40s than the previous decades. If they're late in late mom, you may not feel old, but you know the medical community's label for a pregnant woman who's over 35. Understanding medical concerns, keeping yourself healthy before, during pregnancy, adjusting to changes in your relationships, parenting your caboose baby, and much more. So that's what that's about if anybody's interested. I know a woman personally. It's why I like sharing stories. of things that I know up front and personal. I don't make up stuff. It's people I actually know. Whose daughter is she a year older, 2 years older than me? I don't know, one or the other. She's a year or two older than me. So can you imagine 17 years later, after having, she had a daughter, another daughter, a son, and a daughter. So there was 4 kids. Went through the change of life where her period stopped, but thought something was wrong with her because she was sick. Okay. She goes into the doctors and they ran some blood tests. They couldn't find anything, because of her age. She was at that age to go through the change. I can't remember how old she was, but I know she was up there. And they did an x-ray because they thought maybe something was wrong. She was pregnant. They were lucky that that x-ray didn't kill that kid. But she had been already through the change of life. Like her periods were stopped. I forget how many months it was. And yeah, she was pregnant and had a son 17 years later. And then on top of that, had another son a year after him. And it was like, she was so up in age, it was her daughters that helped raise the kids because she was so up in age. Yeah. 17 years later. Could you imagine? I was like, oh my God. I said, wow. Wow. So yeah, you never know. And this author here, J. Randy Taraborelli, if he ever comes on Whatnot and he finds me over here like he did on YouTube, I still have one of your books. I read this on YouTube one time. Jackie, Ethel, and Jonah, he came into my comment section and was like, thank you so much for reading about my book. It says, if ever 3 women would be changed and challenges by their marriages, they would be Jacqueline Bouvier, Ethel Skakel, and Joan Bennett. None of them, as radiant brides, could have been prepared for the fame, tragedies, and difficulty in lives awaiting them. As they struggled to hope with her husband's infidelities, scandals, assassinations of Jack and Bobby Kennedy, and the harsh glare of constant media attention that would become like sisters, reaching out to one another with comfort and consolation. But like sisters, they would also compete with one another, argue, and become estranged, sometimes for years. I love reading books about Jackie. Jackie O is one of my favorite. I've read like 3 books of autobiographies about her. She was amazing. And this was from the year 2000, and he's the author. He's a handsome dude. I never realized what he looked like until I saw the book. But this is a really nice book, and it's in really good condition. And it is good. It's got pictures in it in the center, in a couple places here, and then in the front. And it talks about all of our first ladies. Well, those 3. And it's just really good. It's a really good book. So I'm going to run it. This is quite heavy. That's okay. I fall asleep all the time in people's lives. The other night, I was trying to upload some books and come back to your live, Izzy, and you were gone. She went to bed because I was trying to upload these at the same time when I was talking. It was funny. I'm like, she left me. Hey, Joel. Hey, Jackie. Welcome in, everybody. If there's anything you want to see, please feel free to let me know. But I love it during trains. I'll be on a train. And the voices of them talking about their items and stuff, and I start getting sleepier and sleepier, and I'll have my glasses and my phone right beside me on the bed, praying I don't smash them, and I just out. And the next thing I know, I wake up because I have to go to the bathroom or the dog needs to go out. And it's like, okay, whose voice is that? We're not in Kansas anymore. I'm in a complete different show, a complete different seller. I have no clue. I have to look around, but I still support. The World is Flat. This book's funny. A Brief History of the 21st Century by Thomas Friedman. This is another one in my educational section. This is from 2006, a really good condition. His book is funny. The World is Flat is Thomas Friedman's account of great changes taking place in our time. Lightning swift advances in technology and communications put people all over the globe in touch as never before, creating an explosion of wealth in India and China and challenging the rest of us to run faster just to stay in place. This updated, expanded edition features more than 100 pages of fresh reporting and commentary drawn from Friedman's travels around the world and across the American heartland, from any place where the flattening of the world is being felt. The World is Flat. Friedman at once shows how and why globalization has now shifted to warp drive and brilliantly demystifies the new flat world for readers, allowing them to make sense of the often bewildering scene unfolding before their eyes. It's just, this is really good. It's about foreign policy, economic issues. It's funny how some of these things in these older books are predictions of now. I find that interesting. It's a big book, big read. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. If you are a book junkie like me, I'm a paper junkie, book junkie, whatever you want to call me. You just let me know if you're looking for anything special. If there's any authors you're looking for, I have a list I made. And if I pull them, I will tag you. I got names and authors I'm starting to write down. Somebody asked me for Stephen King one time, and I forgot to put his name down. So I'm making sure I got the name so I can tag people. Because I know some people just have their favorite authors. Did that work? Yeah. Sorry. My thing's been freezing, so. Welcome in. Welcome in. And if you're on my YouTube channel, hello over there. I will get to you at some point. Hey, need more coffee. I was actually craving coffee yesterday. Didn't make it though. So that is The World is Flat. Which we know it isn't, but you know, his concept. This one here is The Audacity of Hope by Barack Obama. And it is in really good shape too. This was written by Barack Obama from 2006. And it also has a clip in it that I'm going to leave for whoever decides they want the book. It's Obama's half-brother recalls abusive father, and it's this article about his family. Whoever I got the book from left it in here, so I'm going to leave it in here for whoever wants it. And this is Thoughts on Reclaiming the American Dream. That's what the book is about, his opinion on things. And I put these under educational because I think everybody can learn from other people's opinions and ideas. So you will find autobiographies and all that under my educational because of that reason, not just educational books. You will get a variety. And I do have some law books. I showed one in the Buy It Now earlier. If anybody's interested in reading crazy laws, I have the Southeastern Reporters. I've got 8 of these left. It's Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. And these are the last of my law books. And they're really cool. Thank you for your purchase. Who purchased? Hey, Carlos, welcome in. Hey, was Louisiana girl. Thank you so much for purchasing. I appreciate you. So that is yours. And then my next book is this one here. Oh, I should have read it. What to read this book? This is the Diana Chronicles 2 by Tina Brown. Oh my gosh, look at the inside. It's all about Princess Di. She was so pretty too, and it's a purple book. And this is the girl, the lady that wrote it. She's beautiful. She's pretty too. 2007. Look how pretty these pictures are. Her with her sons. Love it when they have pictures in that. Love the insides when they do this. And then here's her story, her chronicles. I don't think I need to really say anything more. If you want me to read the synopsis, I will. And I'm going to start that. Let me see. I have it for $3. Or no, wait a minute. That's the wrong book. My hardbacks usually run for $4. So $4. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your bid. Hey, Stormglow. Stormglow. I love anything to do with people's personal lives. I think it's really cool when they write books like this so you can do some deep dive. And I love Princess Diana. She was just beautiful. I've read a couple books about her. So thank you for your purchase. Put your name in here. It's nice to see people like in the autobiographies. I love that. But like I said, I'm not normal. I put my stuff and mix it up in all educational, because to me it is. It's learning about somebody's life. And the next book I have, this one's called Pamper Your Possessions. Look how old that looks right there. And then this is what the book looks like. It's like a silver. There's a little hole right there in the jacket. This is an older book, 1972. And it's all about pampering the stuff you collect. I thought that was kind of a different book. By Viva Pennick Wright. Welcome in, welcome in. If there's anything you want to see, please feel free to let me know. Hey, Frontier Collectibles. Welcome, welcome. Coffee. That's too funny. That's hysterical. I read, Janis Joplin's autobiography by her sister. That was a really good book. And Valerie Bertinelli. I have read Melissa Sue Gilbert's. She had one called Prairie Tales. That was really good. Some of them, they're just very informative. You know, what they go through and stuff. It's just very interesting. And I'll tell you, she really thought a lot of Michael Landon. Like, you know, she wrote a lot of stuff about how he made her feel as an actress and stuff as a kid. It was just a really good book. And then these are two older ones. This one here has a ripped page in it, but this book is so different. It's called Emphasis Art by Frank Wachowski and Theodore Ramsey. And it says a quantitative program for the elementary school. This would be cool for somebody who teaches at home. It's got all the grades in it. The only thing is there was one page. I don't know what this was, but this one page was ripped. But there's the front page. So I don't know what this page was. I don't have a clue. Because usually the front page is the one with the, you know, the copyrights and stuff, and that's still in here. So I don't know if that was some kind of order form or something. I don't know. But it is really good about different types of art. Like planning a program. It's got all kinds of good stuff in it. The child, his characteristics. (1966). Let me see what it says. Sometimes I just go to the contents when there's no synopsis. The children everywhere who make the teaching of art a constant adventure. And it has basic premises, the teacher's role, the child and his environment, avenues to motivation, planning a program in action, fundamental art concepts reviewed, and I think it's growth. Look at these drawings. Kathy, age 6. John, age 6. I love drawings. My kids used to draw like little stick people and stuff. I love when my grandkids draw. I got their stuff on my refrigerator all the time. Hey, Jolyn. Yeah, it's a really cool book. It's an older one. Something different. I like going back to the past just to see how things evolved and have changed. And the last book I have, I don't care if this sells or not, but I know online it's like $40. That's how expensive they have it, and it's a rare book. It's not like something you see all the time, but I really love this book. I debated on selling it, but I have to downsize. I got too many that's my favorites. But this doesn't have the best looking cover. It don't have a jacket or anything fancy. But wait till you see what's in it. So you can tell it's worn and it's well loved. But it's the inside. You know, never judge a book by its cover type of deal. This is, it was a library book, a high school library from 1970s. It's the illustrations of Frederick Remington by Marta Jackson. And I did put this in here a little pricier than what I saw it. I mean, it's not $40. I have it for $10, but it sells like for $40. And you can Google image this. The cover. But look at this. This is actually time periods. This is what the book looks like that you can Google image this and it'll bring the book up. But this covers, wait till you see the illustrations in here. It's a preserved. He Knew Horses. And it covers horses, the Indian pony. It's all the time periods. When they became equestrian, jumping horses. There's your hockey, your polo in America. But it's more than just about horses, as you'll see. It's all his illustrations. He did a lot. So when you get past the horse period, going to the horse show, there's your equestrians, how they were used in battle, police. And then you go into football. Like this is like everything in one book. And he shows different things about sports. course, back then, football, I think, was what, soccer looking. And then after you get through this part, it goes into fishing and hunting. Whoever this guy was had amazing illustrations. Like, he was a wonderful artist. This says Remington. So you go into that. But I wanted to share this because I think it's so cool. And then you go into people. And then it covers the sidewalk markets. This is a sketch of Mulberry and the Italian, Mulberry Bend, the Italian Quarter, a Russian Jew, an East Side politician. It's like he took every era and everything about the eras and stuck it in one book. These illustrations are amazing. Here's your chicken seller, your water carrier, your porter. A sketch of Chinese with baskets. Here's sign language. It's just unbelievable. This book is like never ending of just beautiful illustrations. The slave market, like it literally covers everything. Explaining defeat to owners, the relic, the old timer, just Mexican troops. Here's Italy. And then you go into bullfighting. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's like everything you can imagine's in here. It blows me away. And he shows the bullfighting. All about eras. Architectural studies and landscapes. And it tells you from the log cabin mounted police barracks, how that grew. Then you have animals in the wild with the buffalo. And you have all these wonderful pictures and images of animals. It just goes on and on. And then we have the cavalry back here. And then from here, look at all these horses. Oh my goodness. A kicker, a rarer, a plunger. Ugly, another kicker, a steady goer. I love the horse images in this. Oh, these are so beautiful. And then you have your scout, your cook with water, your couriers that carried stuff, your crow scouts. Then you have a soldiery, artillery. I mean, I just love his illustrations. He captured like everything. It's a nice book. Really, there's a bugler. Fighting the Indians. He captured so much of that era. It's crazy. Cowboys and vaqueros. I hope you guys could see there's a cow puncher. And then men in the wilderness. Look at that. Look at that beautiful scenery. His death song in the Indian camps. Then they have the buffalo dance. I mean, this guy was an amazing artist. The pony war dance. Look at that. A Cheyenne warrior. I love the Indian stuff in this. It's beautiful. Blackfoot teepee. But yep, it's a lot of eras. It's an awesome book. And if it doesn't sell, I'm okay with that. But I want to share it because it's so awesome. Hey, Paula! It's just a really unique book. And it's like whoever this woman is collected his illustrations and stuck it all in one book. Welcome in, welcome in. I like the art in this just alone by itself. It's amazing. Frederick Remington. It's amazing what you find in your bookstore that you didn't even know you had. So there is that one. If there's anything anybody wants to see, please feel free to let me know. So I'm going to put this one aside. Diana was sold. Okay. I'll mix this back with this book. And I think that was it. Let's see what some of these laws are. Anybody else going live tonight? Are you still in here, Is? Thank you for the follows. You guys are awesome. I'm trying to catch up. Ooh, lots of new shows to visit. Are you going live tonight, Izzy or Brainy? I don't know if any of these books has the funny ones where people get arrested for crazy stuff or not, but some of these are hysterical to read in these law books. They are really funny. Okay, here's one. You guys ready for a court one? Hey, Paula. Welcome back. Is this doing it again? Yes, my app is stuck. Hold on. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It freezes on my phone. It's so weird. Oh, there you are. I see you now, Paula. I'm doing okay. Are any of you going live tonight? Sometimes I'm bad about saving shows. Okay, so we're gonna read one. Okay, ready? Petition against the carrier by consignee who refused to accept delivery of watermelons because of depreciation caused by delay in delivery, alleging damage and amount of specified market value of melons at the time they should arrive, held not generally demurrable, although the petition showed that the melons had value upon their arrival and did not specify such value. A court case on watermelons. Okay, Reboot Break. I finally got money in the bank. One check came through and I had to put it in today. My husband didn't even see it. He just dropped the mail in the house. I go, why didn't you sign it and stick it in the freaking bank? Because it's under his or mine. He goes, I didn't see it. And I'm like, we're down to $14. That's how much I had left, Paula. I had $14 left in my account. So I put it, I had to run to the bank. I had 10 minutes to get it in. And I had to run it to the drive through the bank today. And I finally got it in. And I said, because we get a lot of pendings and whatnot in our bank. And she told me it'll be in there tomorrow. She said, but that's how they do it, because he has a direct deposit coming Friday and that's automatically there. But when it's a check from somebody else, they have to wait, even though it's in the same bank system. But that's okay, because I get a mineral rights check every once in a while, but it's not always a guaranteed check. But when I do, that's a little bit of extra spending money for me. So I put it in the bank today. Because we didn't even have money for 4th of July. I said, how dare you rob me of a grilled meal? So thank goodness I got it in there. The Lake House? Is that in the auction or is that in the buy it now? Let me see. I'm looking. Yeah, they do that. They'll put it on hold. Oh, you're talking about the James Patterson book. Yes. When I started Whatnot, I don't know if I ever had a pending like some people do. You know how like when they don't look like they're paid, but all I know is I got a message from my bank, Paula. And I had to make a trip down because it was doing one item at a time and it hit my bank so hard I was on a train. And I was spreading the love, I guess, to too many new buyers or sellers, I mean, at the time. So I had to go to my bank and fix it. I said, please let Whatnot through. This is very aged, just so you know. On the inside, it's got like a brown look to it. And then here too. But the rest of the story's there. I go through every single book to make sure there's no ripped pages or nothing like that. So you will get the story. I wipe all my books off and make sure that they are in good condition as far as readable. Because I bought a book from the Goodwill one time and pages were missing. I was not happy. So I always make sure I check. And it's $1. So there you go. Because I look at what I would pay for a book. That's how I base my prices. Oh, you're quite welcome anytime. The condition, the shape, like I take everything in. But it's hard for me to grade a book, though, you know? Because it could be a good read, but then it might not be the best condition on the outside. Especially stickers. They take away from them. Thank you for your purchase. But I love James Patterson books. My two favorites, I don't know what all you've read, but I loved his Breakfast at Tiffany's. And Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas is such a good book by him. I think there's 3 books with that one. It's like a series type thing, and it like unfolds, because when I first started reading it, I was like, what? And then when I got to reading the stories, oh my gosh, they will blow you away. And then they made a movie on Suzanne Dyer. It was so good. Me Too. And I have a substance upstairs called Undo. And I have another substance down here somewhere. I got to find it. But Undo is like Gooby Gone, and you can put it on the stickers and get them wet and then scoop them off, and they come right off the books without affecting them. It's amazing stuff, and it dries with no stains. And if the sticker leaves a residue, There is a powder with a brush I have that another crafter on YouTube told me about, and I have it here somewhere, but you dump this powder and brush it off, and it clears that sticky residue from sticking to your books to stick together. Because I can't tell you how many nails I've busted taking stickers off of books down here. But it's amazing the products they have. This book I thought was funny. I can't help it. Out of all the books I sold today, I think the humor comes in this one. It's a romance novel, and it says, "Grin and bear it. A bear ate my ex, and that's okay." I think that I haven't read this book, but it looks like it would be hysterical. And it's a 2005. It's a Harlequin Next romance. It must be like a new by Leslie LaFoy. Like, I know regulars, but this one says the Next. They have like a new title out. But it says on the back, it says, question, how am I, a smart, confident, and did I mention innocent woman, supposed to react when smack dab in the middle of my messy divorce, the single-engine plane of my soon-to-be ex-husband crashes into the mountains of Montana's Bitterroot National Forest, and I become the prime suspect in his disappearance. Did I also forget to mention there was no body? There's a very strong possibility he's been dragged away by bears. Yes, bears. Answer, grin and bear it. Like I've done most of my adult life, only now I've decided I'm going to be the only one asking the important question and not taking any answers at face value. This sounds like it would be an hysterical. Oh, I think that's so funny. A bear ate my ex and I'm getting the blame for it. That sounds like something would happen in my life too. Hey, sweet Rose. If anybody wants to see anything, let me know. Welcome in, welcome in. Sometimes it's just the covers that catch me. I have collected V.C. Andrews. I have Anne Rule as my favorite true crime writer. I miss her. I actually talked to her daughter, and she's so nice. And her daughter, Leslie Rule, is writing paranormal books now, and she wrote a true crime book I'm yet to find. I would love to read her daughter's books to see how hers are. I've got very fortunate to talk to some authors, meet some authors, and I also got interviewed and published in a book by an author, which is really cool. My bookstore did. He was doing what I do with it. It's sitting here somewhere. I showed it in one of my lives. I'm on page like 97. But it was funny because he reached out to me through Facebook and I thought he was a scammer. I did. I thought he was a scammer, Paula. He reached out and he's like, hey, I'm an author and I'd like to interview. And I'm like, okay, what's your catch? And he says, go check out my profile. I swear I'm not a scammer. I thought he was. And well, you don't know because on Facebook and Instagram you get so many scam hits. And he interviewed Tatum O'Neal and Christy McNichol, and his pictures was with them. So yeah, it's called Bookstore Explorer, West Virginia by Matt Browning. He is very nice. And this is my bookstore published. Minda's Bookstore and More is my physical bookstore I had open before COVID. And he did an interview. And I'm going to read it if you don't mind, because this is really cool. It says, Tammy has found a creative way to recycle unwanted books. She is turning them into junk journals and selling them to crafters through her growing Etsy store, because I had an Etsy store too. Since I opened the Etsy store, my business is really taking off, says Tammy, who opened the used bookstore in her home 5 years ago. It's now 11 years old, my bookstore. I have a licensed bookstore. First in her garage, this is where I started before moving to her basement. Since putting things on, not only do I have my book people coming after my stuff, I have people who are junk journalers looking at things that I have, books that are falling apart. They are turning them into recreations of art. They are gutting them and rebuilding them. Junk journaling is a popular crafting activity that uses old books, craft supplies, envelopes, paper, sheet music, and other found items to create unique diaries, art journals, photo albums, or any other creative use a crafter can come up with. It's provided Tammy a fresh outlook to expand her customer base as she's worked to grow her business, admittedly learning several lessons the hard way before finding her niche audience. I put out a lot of money my first year in advertising that went nowhere, she recalls. I built a website and didn't have one sale. This is what I went through. I was at the end of my rope and someone donated to the shop a book on starting a small business. Tammy read it and decided to keep going. It said that it realistically takes about 5 years to really get off the ground, and I realized this is going to take time. Then things started to trickle in here and there. And another thing I learned, do not take out loans and do not use credit cards when you start a small business because that will kill you. That was and I paid cash. I worked 7 days a week doing in-home care, taking care of elderly people, and that cash paid for everything to start my bookstore. So just a wise tip for people that want to start a business, that's the best way to do it is cash only so you don't go in debt. And they say the highest in debt businesses are usually hardware stores because they put in all that money to buy the inventory and they use loans and stuff and then they can't pay it back. And that will kill your business. That's why I love this book. It was when she added social media to her business page that Tammy began to really see results. She began posting video walkthroughs of her inventory through her YouTube channel, showing viewers any flaws or markings in each book, and it worked. I had a lady come in after seeing my videos on YouTube and bought 70 books. She did. There was a lady that bought 70 books off of me after watching one of my videos. She told me, knowing you take care of the books is what made me come. You go through them, you make sure the pages aren't ripped, there's no writing on them, you show the flaws in your books on your videos. The kind of feedback is so valuable, so I keep doing it. And while most of her sales traffic come from the YouTube channel or Etsy store, Tammy's basement storefront is open to those who prefer the brick and mortar experience. Until COVID, of course. While small and in shifting state of organization as donations come in, visitors will find a nice selection of fiction titles, children's books, romance, cookbooks, greeting cards. I had a greeting card section too. And many more priced well under $1. I don't have rent, she says. I don't lease. This is my house, so I try to keep the cost down because everything else around us is going up. I feel for business owners now, having seen this side of it. Even ordering a plastic sign for the shop was outrageous. So I want people to have luxury they can afford. She's finally starting to see the fruits of labor and has been a lifelong passion. After harboring a dream to open a bookstore specializing in new inventory for years, it was happenstance that led her to open the used bookstore instead. I had a friend that was moving and had a trash bag full of books that she was moving to, and she was just going to throw it away. This is how my bookstore started. So I took them and I sat there for 3 years, Tammy says. She then opened a used sale online with an inspiration struck. I saw the prices and thought, why not a used bookstore? Hello. And I wondered if she was throwing books away. Who else is throwing books away? After running an ad in the paper for book donations, her inventory suddenly grew. And that's how my business was born. I had 2 free newspapers that I put in, don't throw your books away, call me. And my phone blew up for a half an hour. And that's how my bookstore started. Was people throwing books away instead of recycling them. And I always tell people, please recycle. And my bookstore, when I opened it and it started doing good with business, half of the donations went into the backpack program to feed the local kids. And the churches made backpack programs for these kids. So that's where part of my money went to. Anytime somebody said keep the change, that's where it went. I didn't keep it. It went into feeding local kids. And I have proof. Some people even donated from YouTube for that purpose. And I would get a card from the Association Church. It was a Catholic church that did all the stuff. And they would write me a thank you note with how many kids that it supported. So I had proof to show my readers that I'm not a scammer, that went to a good cause. So that's what I did. And Locker Nuts is like that too. They sell on here too, but they're also a platform on YouTube, Jack and Jana. And if you don't know Locker Nuts, they did that through COVID. They supported a lot of diapers for a lot of kids in California in their local area with the money that they made off of the sales of their lockers. I love it when I see people do stuff like that and give back to the community. I think it's amazing. So to me, Foster Friends Thrift. If you do not know who they are on Whatnot, please go see Spaghetti because she is so amazing. I love her. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here selling right now. Seriously. We call her Spaghetti because her first channel was Spaghetti Mama. She raises money for foster kids in California, and she sells a lot of toys. If you're looking for good Christmas stuff, I got a lot of toys for my kids and it supports a good cause for my grandkids is Christmas. She has a lot of the Kuromi type stuff and Hello Kitty, and oh my gosh, she's got so much stuff. But her energy, she was like, we didn't have a building. She tells her story, and they have to pay rent so that the kids can come and shop for free, the foster kids. And she says, I had no social media. Somebody told me about Whatnot. She came on. She says, I just did it. I didn't think about it, didn't analyze it. I just did it. She says, I was so nervous my first live. And I was debating because I didn't come to Whatnot to sell. I came here as a buyer in 2022 or something like that. I don't know. I have to look back. But I've been here as a buyer and I wasn't even thinking about selling. So I decided to sell because of the bookstore not having an open bookstore anymore. I wanted to move books and organize them. And you guys not only buy the books for me, you help me organize my books. Because I'm buying totes after every show and I'm putting the categories in each tote where I know where everything's at. And because I had rain, a lot of people don't know this, but I had a leak where I stored the book was in a garage down here, and a leak came. I was scared to death of mold getting into my book, so I had to move everything actually into the store where I didn't have room. And then my hot water, it's like water is literally after my books. I'm not kidding. My hot water heater blew up in this house because we moved in here. The hot water heater was here. And my husband and I have only been here in this house for 14 years. What decided to blow up and the whole bottom came out, and I had just put books beside everything. And then I lost some inventory, but then it shot out the top and it went all over it was just a mess. I was down here. If you'd have seen me, I was a basket case standing in water trying to save books, and I had nobody here. I couldn't figure out how to turn the hot water heater off. So I called my neighbor. He was working. Finally my son-in-law, when I got a hold of my daughter, I'm like, don't you people ever answer your phones? I need help. So he came over here and he helped me get it because there's a couple drains, but it wasn't draining fast enough. So he's helping me move stuff. So I did lose some inventory, but it's okay. It happens. So I don't know where anything's at. So when people come in here, please don't ask me if I have this. I will let you know. That's why I take notes, because I don't know. My books have been shifted so many times in boxes. I have no clue what's where. The only thing I knew what was in place was what was on my shelves, and all those are done already. Like I've already done them in the show already. So all I have left is when I unbox them and clean them and prepare for these shows here, you see them as soon as I do. So that's how I don't even know what I have in inventory yet. But if you have a specific author, like I had a girl wanting Robin Cook, I wrote her name down. And if I do come across Robin Cook's books, I can tag her in. So if there's a specific author, please feel free to let me know. And then I'll write your screen name down and tag you in if it happens to be in one of my lives. So you can come find it. But the only Stephen King book I found, somebody donated a whole bunch of books from an attic, and I don't know if there was a mouse or a rat or something. Looks like something had Field Day Chewing, so that book's not it's not sellable. It's a mess. So, I don't know what I'm going to find until I open the books up. And yes, I have found mice skulls, which is really gross. In some of the places that I picked up from, because they've been from barns and just different places. And I do have books from the 1800s and early 1900s, but I'm not bringing them out yet. And that won't be under the book category. When I go to bring them out, that's going to be under the vintage category. Because I have sold older books on YouTube, but I don't have any books right now that I want to sell yet. I'm still petting them. But I will get to the older books later. So, just to let people kind of know an idea where I stand. But I am going to try to have a purse sale tomorrow. I have one that I'm going to have one with accessories, but it's to downsize because I'm kind of like doing an estate downsizing of my house and stuff that I have. And some of it's new. I actually got it off of 63 Boutique, a couple of the purses. So if anybody wants to come in and check it out, they can. Because I'll be selling in 3 different categories in 3 days. I want to try to. And then the third day, hopefully, will be crafts if I could make it through these 2 days. Because it takes a bit to upload and weigh everything and stuff like that. So just to give you a heads up, there'll be a couple more sales coming. But I need to get rid of stuff. I have to. And if anybody's interested online, I would rather see you all have it first. And then it'll go into a yard sale. So, it's kind of like everything you see here is last chance. But we do have a St. Vincent and a Salvation Army clothes that when I don't sell certain things, they get donated. I love our St. Vincent's. Izzy, you fell asleep. So, but it's not, I'm sticking with the book category for now. And eventually when my books are downsized where I need them to be, then I will go into crafting too. And I'll still have books though. But it's helping me organize. You guys don't even know how much these sales help me organize. It's crazy. But I was telling Brainy before you come in here, Paula, I didn't realize how many purses. I didn't think I was going to have enough purses for a show. And I have a closet in my computer room I haven't looked in lately. And I did. And I thought, wow, you do have some purses in here. So I had 10. That's enough. It's going to be a short show. But hey, it is what it is. But I had only like so many, and I got to add so many more. So it gave me 10 purses to put into it. One's going to be a project purse. So I told Brainy I didn't even realize the project purse is a Liz Claiborne. I didn't even know I had a Liz Claiborne purse. I never pay attention to the brands. I just look at what they look like and, what they hold. But I can tell you one thing. I love that book, the 2 Valentino Orlando's I got off of you are my favorite purses right now. I just love that black one and that green one. And the new strap on that Valentino. Oh my God. They're beautiful. Thank you. I haven't uploaded the other 2 yet. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. But I do enjoy the people I've met here, and the people I've met on YouTube have been so amazing. And people in the Facebook community. Hey, Frugal Shelly. Oh, speaking of YouTube, hold on. I got to switch over here real quick. I'm live over there too. Let me see who came in. Yay, Bud Files came back in again. Gemma's Journey Grace, Funko Pop Ohana, The Bud Files with 2 Ds, Yankee Kyle. Thank you so much for coming in on my YouTube too, because you guys are awesome. And my crafty styles, I got to get with those people on YouTube because I have a lot of followers over there too. Heck, I get more comments on that channel than I do Tammy's Passions. I know so many people on YouTube too. I miss them. They miss me doing my crafts and picking on me on my lives. Let me get in here. So if there's any books anybody wants to see, please feel free to let me know. And after the show, I will go back down my follow list if I missed you, and I will follow you back. Even if you're a troll, I'll follow you, because that's how I am. So anyways, that's about it for tonight. That's all the books I have for now. Until the next live where I can bring some more that I unfold. Thanks everybody for coming in. If you see anything in a past live, please feel free to reach out, message me, and let me know. But it's going to be fun to have money back in my bank and actually get to purchase again. Hey, Lady Tagalong. You know how hard it is to sit and watch you people have sales of good stuff and I can't buy anything? It sucks. And I'm the same. Even if a person can't afford to buy anything, just like Izzy says, it's better to have company than to sit here and sell alone. You know, it is. It's nice having company, even if a person can't buy, because I do love it when people just come in to hang out too. But it stinks though when you see something and you're like, oh, I want that so bad and I can't do anything but sit on my hands. And I keep sitting over here going, please don't buy that. Please don't buy that. Like Izzy's got one thing I want. She knows what it is. I don't know if your husband etched into it or not. Did you sell it or do you still have it? That journal? I was like, I tell Izzy, if she sells it, if you sell it, you sell it, because I'm not going to hold you back. But I pray that it's still left over. I do that all the time. I'll be sitting in a sale and they'll be selling, certain ephemera. And I'm like, oh, I don't want that to sell. I hope it's there another time so I can ask for it. I want the brown one. Yes. Save me the brown one. Yes, I'm ready. Whenever you are. I have the money. It'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow or Friday. Well, I know tomorrow's a holiday. You just let me know when it's done. And I will have the money. Because I have money in the bank tomorrow and I'll have money in there Friday. So it'll be covered. But yes, I love it. And he doesn't have to fill in the horse. Just the outline of the picture that I sent you. Like, kind of like one running like that with the tail up the way it is. And then I want Tammy on top, like in the corner or something. You do it. You know what I like. You guys put your stuff together. But yes, I want that journal. That'd be so pretty. I don't have one with my name etched into it or a horse that's etched into it, so it'll be so cool. I know it will, because I love that light up thing you made with my grandkids' names, and that thing is so awesome. My husband and I were playing with the buttons the other night. I said, look, you can leave it on one color, or look, you can make it change. Oh, I know. I love it. My daughter loved it too, and the grandkids have seen it, and they're like, oh, that's so cute. Michael loved the way you come up with the idea to tilt the names like leaves. He was like, that is so awesome, because I was thinking straight across. And then when you showed me, I thought, oh my gosh, that is such a cool idea to make them look like leaves like you did. That was so awesome. I know, isn't that awesome when you can put your own twist on it? Hey, Brave Player. That's kind of how I do journals. Is I'll watch a person do something, and I'll see somebody, and then, like you said, a light bulb. It's like, oh my gosh, I can combine these two things and make this. I miss crafting though. My big shot's getting lonely because I haven't crafted in a while, but I miss it. I can't wait to get back at it. And I had a hardback that came in that was split. Like when you open the book up, it was split away. And I'm going to turn that book, I'm going to upcycle that into a um, journal. Now, that is something that I could do here, or I could do selling craft supplies. But I think it's important for book people to see a really positive way that you can upcycle a book too. So I'm thinking about doing that demonstration on this stream instead of doing into the crafting stream, because I think it would be so cool for people to see a book that's falling apart, what you could do with it. I have not created one since the Elvis one for the girl in the UK because it's so time consuming. It's like I said, I feel bad because somebody won a giveaway off of me on YouTube. TMD did, Penguin Boss's wife, and she had to wait 5 months to get it because that's how long it took me to get the pieces. It's the pieces that take so long, and how I put it together. And Penguin Boss told me, she talks about that journal all the time. Like, she absolutely loves it. And I said, I know, but it takes me forever. It'd be different if I had like one pre-made, but it just takes so long. Because she wanted something I've never done before. She was, and that's what about customs. She was born in Saudi Arabia, and camels mean a lot to her. And she showed me a picture of her and her sister on camels in Saudi Arabia before they moved to America. They were travelers. And I'm like, camel? I'm like, you want a camel journal? I didn't have anything to do with camels. So I really had to do a lot of research. And also, the one thing I love about TMD is when Penguin Boss is selling, she's behind her as a commentary. She's always given facts about postcards and places and the ephemera they sell. So I put a twist on her journal because I had to know her too as a person. So I found some information out about camels that I actually printed on another piece of paper, things that maybe she might know, maybe she might not know. And she did. There was information in there I had no idea about camels. So I stuck that in as a part of her thing, because I like to study the people and listen to them and stuff to get to know them, to know how to make their journals. And I think the customs to me are easier than to try to, wing it. Even though some of my wing it sold, it's still different. So the UK girl, her name is Gemma. She really challenged me on the Elvis journal because she said, I'm autistic and I want you to make me a journal that resonates with my autism. So let me tell you, that was a challenge. Because when you look up anything on Google about autistic, you see when it comes to journals and making things, it's all about how to make a journal to record for your kid that has autism, but it shows nothing for autistic people. So I had to study Gemma in her streams and how she feels about things, the things that trigger her, because it's also about aesthetics of stuff. So when I did, and I knew she loved Elvis, so I had to find pictures of Elvis that were out of copyright, which I did. I have ways of finding that information. So I took and I found out of copyright pictures. I can't get in trouble for stuff, because copyrights are very strict depending on who you're dealing with. And I know a lot about copyrights because of MSM way back before 2008. Whenever we found an artist who did like Popeye Wong, The Coppertone was a Yeagle. The little girl on the Coppertone bottle with the little puppy pulling her pants up. That's a Yeagle. Like, I knew these artists back on MSN because we would have to send them an email saying, "Hey, can we use your picture?" And some made avatars, and they would give us an email back that we had to literally post in our MSN group. And they would say, yeah, you can use my art, you can change the background, you can add animations, but don't put your name by the copyright. Some wanted the copyright symbol with their name beside it, but you could put your watermark and your name beside it. This is why I know so much about copyrights. And then another person we used was oh, what the heck was his name? Garv Girls. Oh my God, Garv Girls were beautiful. And it got to a point though, like anything else, Izzy, where the bad people intertangle with the good. So what ended up happening back on MSN back in the day was women were taking, because they thought if they changed, because there was a challenge about changing 10% of somebody else's work, you could claim it as your own. Something about it was a great big thing about it on the internet. And this guy got away with it because he changed it so much people couldn't recognize it as the other artist, but that's still stealing somebody's work. So what happened was the artists were pissed off about this, and they decided to make a program called the Guild. Well, when Yeagle joined the Guild, we had to pay for his art. Like, you literally had to pay $20 for like a membership, but you got a specific license number. And if any of the Garvs were out there on MSN, your site would be shut down unless it had that license number. That's how they knew who paid and who didn't. But what happened was these women were putting their names by the copyrights after they changed so much of a percentage. See, I never did that. I respected their boundaries. But they shut down all the MSN groups because the bad ones infiltrated and ruined it for us. Because we weren't making money. We were just playing games. Hey, Jen. And we got them recognized because there was a lot of business people back on MSN in the day. But to make a long story short, one of Garv's girls got picked up by a golf company because we kept posting them as games. We would play like the last word and checking in for the day. And every time you posted one of their pictures as an art post, people would see it. Hey, Deb. So what ended up happening was they picked it up and they made him a golf advertisement. So that's why Garv went gilded, because he's like, you're going to have to pay to use my work because I'm not going to have people stealing my stuff, changing over 10% of it. And that's how that all happened. So it's very interesting, the history of copyrights. But anything that's from the 1800s, early 1900s, like I think it's like over 100 years old, is copyright free. So if you buy anything, you can actually make reproductions and not get in trouble. But to me, even though some people change the rules, which I don't know who had the power to do this, 50 years and older is vintage, not 25, 50. That will always be a rule with me. Even though somebody changed that later and says, oh, no, things from the 80s. No. It has to be 50 years or older and is vintage, and 100 years or older is antique. And I'm not straying from that. But I know that there's people who do. There's people that are doing under the 20 or the 50. They're saying 25 years vintage, but it isn't. Technically, it's 50. If you look it up on Google, it is 50. But somebody kept trying to change it. I don't know who tried to change it. But I guess it's people wanting to sell their stuff as vintage. I don't know. But to me, it'll always be 50. Because that's what I tell my husband all the time. Because we're past 50. And I said, we're vintage, honey. You think we'll make it to antique? And we just laugh. But it is cool, you know. But I know that there's a lot of people that make digitals, and there's a controversy even in the crafting community. Is so funny when you get into the disputes on YouTube with the crafting community. It's absolutely hysterical the way the people fight over stupid shit. Hey, stars like dust, like junk journals are all stuff that's to go in the garbage. Crafting journals, to me, is when scrapbooking came into the junk journal, and they call them junk journals, but they're really not because they bought the paper. Junk journals originally are things to go in the garbage. It's not to go buy Stamperia and paper lines. And they fight over it, but there was a YouTuber that did a video that told the difference between them all, and what she says is true. And she says people might get pissed off at me, but it's the truth. She says it's junk mail. It's stuff that you're supposed to throw away. So I had this video that was really funny that I did on YouTube. It was hysterical under my crafty styles. There's a video where I said, okay, I'm going to try everything from junk. I'm not going to use anything that's bought. Let's see how this is going to work, because you even buy your glue to glue the stuff together. So how am I going to put this together without using anything bought? I mean, nothing. You would die laughing if you would see this journal that I made. It's a bank, you know, the bank pamphlet that your checks come in. I took a bank check statement thing, the cover, because it was hard enough to do this. And I used twisties from the bread to literally affixate my stuff. I used no glue. Everything I did, there was nothing paid for in this. You know how hard that was? I said, because it's hard not to buy things to go into it. So I don't call mine junk journals. I call mine crafty journals. They're a mixture of new papers, digitals, and then you have people in the crafting community going, well, digitals are not the same thing as original ephemera. And then you have these cranky people. Oh my gosh, it's so funny when they fight. I laugh at them all. And I'm like, listen, digitals are something that people create. We do not have the same vision. I said, you go down Etsy and you show me two artists that have used digitals and made the exact same journal. Show me. Prove it. Prove it that digitals can't be used. It's so funny because they're like, oh, but I have original postcards and I have original papers out of books, and they're not copied like digitals, because once you buy digitals, you can keep running them off. I said, but the thing is, even people that use digitals do not have the same vision. So it does make them unique. All the digitals I have ever seen, no two people create the same exact journals. So you can have an authentic journal even out of digitals. Don't argue with me because I'll prove it. And it's like they fight over the stupidest things. I said, you guys, I feel like I'm sitting in a little house on the prairie and I'm listening to what's her face. What's her name? It used to fight with everybody. That one lady that owned the store. So I feel like a bunch of bickering ladies sitting in here listening to you guys, because it's absolutely hysterical. You know who I'm talking about? What the heck was her name? My mine just went blank. Oh my gosh, she was married to the store owner on Little House on the Prairie. I can't think of her name. She was always nibby nosy. So they remind me of when they fight over there. And I just shake my head. Can't think of her name. I know her name, but I can't think of it. She was always the one picking on Caroline about her egg count being off and stuff because she didn't want to pay her. I can't think of her name though. Hold on. I have to Google it. Mrs. Olson. I couldn't think of her name. But yeah, it was Mrs. Olson. Hey, Deb. And when they get to fighting over there, it's who they remind me of. So one time I did this video. I think this is why I lost a lot of customers on YouTube and why my channel went like silent. Did something really naughty over on YouTube. I did a live and it was a puppet show. And it was making fun of the people and how they were running their mouths at each other over there on YouTube. And it was absolutely hysterical. I was laughing so damn hard I almost didn't pull it off, but I had puppet socks. And I was like, about this and about that. And they pissed off a lot of people in the crafting community over there. And I don't care. If anybody knows me offline, I'm the same persona no matter where I'm at. And I got so tired of the fighting that I did a puppet show about it, made it look stupid. And I said, now, do you feel like a bunch of kids in kindergarten because that's the way you're all acting over here? And I pissed off everybody. And I don't care because at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to stand up for something. And it's that one person in the crowd, that one voice in the crowd that makes more sense than the majority. And it was just hysterical. I could have been mean. I could have been vicious, but no, I turned it into something funny. And it was hysterical. I don't know if that live is still there. I couldn't even tell you the title, but I laughed so freaking hard through the whole thing. I almost peed my pants because of the fighting. And you wouldn't believe how many people over there were so close at one time. They have nothing to do with each other. People that backstab you over there are ridiculous. I have seen it all. It's like I said, I could write a book about the internet. I've seen the clicks. I've seen the fighting. It's no different than being offline with high school kids. Seriously, it isn't with some of these people. So I use my experience, and like I tell people, everybody's here for a different reason. There are some people here, it's just for business, even on YouTube. It's the same way. There are some people that don't care to make friends on here. And there are some people that do. And you just got to know what you're dealing with. And there was a person who got really upset over another person because when they share Happy Meals, like you share Happy Meals with your friends, I'm like this. If I send you a Happy Meal and you don't want to keep it, you want to resell it, it's yours to do whatever the hell you want with it. That's my philosophy. But there was something personal, somebody that passed away, and she sent something to someone else that meant something to her. Now, me, if you told me, hey, Tammy, I lost my grandmother or something, and I have this bead or something that you want to send me, I would probably cherish it because I am a sentimental person, but not everybody is. And this one crafter sent somebody something, and then the next day she saw, she like a time period, not the next day, but just another time, she saw her give it away in another Happy Meal, and she was furious. She says, I thought we were friends, and that meant something to me because I said, but you have to understand. Not everybody feels the way you do. Just like, my husband made a comment to me because I was a shopper on here. He said, oh, you had to buy friendships. No, I didn't have to buy friendships. I made friendships. But he was like, where are they when you're selling? You don't see them coming and buying off of you. And I said, Mike, you have to understand. You don't read books. You're my husband. Why do you think I would expect everybody I bought off of to come in here and buy books if they don't read? I don't want them to buy something they're never going to use. That's stupid. My thought process is if you're a book reader, come. But if you're not a book reader, don't come over here and buy a book just to support me because I bought off of you, because that's not how I roll. I want you to be happy with my product, no matter what it is. If you're a crafter and you want to buy one of my crafts because you don't read books, I'm happy with that. If you want to buy books because you love books, I'm happy with that. But I never expected people that I purchased from to flock to my sale. My thought process is just different. Nobody owes me anything. You know, I buy off of people because they have stuff I like. I'm not going to sit here and shop off of you and buy junk. Of course, there was a couple times I did support a couple people, but it's not that I needed the stuff they had, but they were in a train and they were a first time seller and I wanted to be supportive, and I have been supportive that way. But the majority of the time, I'm not going to buy something if I'm not going to use it. You know. Hey, Kyle. Welcome in, everybody. If there's anything you want to see in the auction, please let me know. Because I mean, you know that the stuff I bought off of you, I love it. You know what I mean? I love having my grandkids lit up and I love having those air fresheners. I will not buy something just to buy it. But I do feel bad on the train sometimes when they're introducing new sellers and you'll see them hop into one and a whole bunch of people are buying, and then they'll hop into another new seller and nobody's buying anything, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I can't handle this, after they've shown like 4 or 5 items and you can just hear it in their voice. I feel so bad. So I hurry up and go into their auction or their store and I look for something. Okay, I can deal with this little knickknack and I'm okay, even though I don't really collect knickknacks. If I see a little horse figurine, I'll get it just to help them. Yep, exactly. Hey, Klein, because you want people to buy your items. You know what I'm saying? You're doing customs. So you know who wouldn't want a custom and appreciate a custom? I would rather have people like the stuff I have. So to me it's like if I like you said, and that made my day when you asked me to save that book for you because of the reason you told me. Oh my gosh, that to me is so heartfelt when there's something read out of a book to someone, no matter what the reason, whether it's to pick a person up, like a poem or some kind of saying, or when you lost somebody you love, or you know what I mean, and it resonates. That's the kind of shopper I am. Even when I buy journals from other crafters, it has to resonate with my taste. And sometimes I'll see people have like a whole bunch of butterflies on their cover. I mean, this is just me. And they'll go to flip through and there's no more butterflies. And it's like, okay, why do you have butterflies on your cover and the rest of your book is something completely different? I'm a butterfly fanatic. I love horses, yellow roses. Like I look for that aesthetic throughout the book because the cover tells me, but that's just me. That doesn't mean everybody else feels the same way. Which Bible was it? Somebody did buy a Bible from me here not too long ago. If you're talking about the good news one, it's gone. But I did have another one. If it's the one with the faces on it, let me see. Do you remember which one it was, Deb? The new version. Let me see here. The wrong era. I had 2 Bibles. Hmm. I don't remember that one selling either. Hmm. Now it's making me wonder if it cloned over. Was it the one that had the kids' faces on it that was green? I had a gold one and a green one. And I did not sell that green one. Unless Whatnot messed up and didn't clone it over, which could be a good possibility. Let me see if I can find it. Unless somebody bought it today and I didn't see it. Because I haven't packed it. Sometimes Whatnot messes up. You got to really pay attention when you're cloning from your last show. I couldn't figure out for the life of me why this woman had like 1,400 and something on her page. And when you would go look in her store, she didn't have anything, hardly. And here she didn't clone her shows. I don't know if a lot of people know about the cloning from the last show into the next one, but it should bring all the books with it. I'm looking for you. Let me see. It didn't come up when I ran the search. But I do try to have a variety. When I unpack the boxes, I have been fortunate to not have one genre, because that's what I'm scared of, is when I go to open some of these boxes, I'm only going to have like the same genres and not be able to do the mix. Here's one. Is this the one you mean? Wait a minute, let me see here. It won't let me bring the picture up close. It's called The Way by Tyndale House Publishers. Let me see if I can find it on my phone, because it won't let me pull it up through the Whatnot app. That's weird. We'll see if this is the same one or not. I don't know. Oh, this isn't the New International. This is the Living Bible Illustrated. Is that the one you're talking about, Deb? Or was it a different one? Yes, I love Danielle Steele. This is the only one I could think of. Is that the one you're talking about, though? I didn't know if that's the one you meant. Oh, must have been a different one. Hey, John, are you playing tag? And it's so weird here lately. How come there's people coming into lives without having their sound on? How can you be in a live and not hear people? That would drive me nuts. Oh, yes. You're like me then. Have you ever read Jackie Collins, Deb? Oh, she wrote some good ones too. I loved her Lucky series. They had it on TV. I have her Lucky series here. She is like one of those types you can't put the book down. That's the kind of authors I like too. Now Danielle Steele, I started reading her when I was 15. She had Hey Boom Comics. She had My mother had books in her attic, and one time it was raining and I picked up one of her books and it was Danielle Steele. I picked up, and I at 15 I got addicted to Danielle Steele because I really love her books, especially her earlier books. So she wrote a lot about Germany that was true. Even though her books are romances, there's a lot of realism to her books. She would talk about German war and what was going on, but then she would put like a love story twist into it. But a lot of the stuff she told was factual in the actual war and the information. So I love a lot of her earlier books, but the one book I was really disappointed in was The Mistress. I thought that book was so stupid. That's probably the worst book I've ever seen Danielle Steele write. Her favorite, my favorite of hers was Palomino, and I liked The Clone and I was so funny. That book's hysterical. She's written a lot of good books, but The Mistress, I was not impressed with it. I didn't like it. I don't know if it's just because they're on a time crunch as authors that they have to put books out at a certain time. I feel like they write books that almost sound the same. Does that make sense to you, Deb, when you've read her books? Like they almost sound the same, but then they'll put out that one book that stands out. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because she has a lot of books I love. But did you read The Mistress? I was really disappointed in that book. I'm like, where in the heck did she pull this from? Did you like it? I thought it was awful. But I know that she doesn't read books. She did an interview on YouTube where she don't even read books because of plagiarism. She's afraid that she'll unconsciously write about something that she didn't put into her own words. And that's interesting to find an author that doesn't read anybody else's books. I found that interesting, but I don't blame her. Hey, Evolution, welcome back. You going live today, Izzy? Oh, well, who's going live tonight? Is anybody going live tonight? Because I was going to say, we need to raid somebody. Who are we going to raid? Let me find somebody to raid. Um, Let me see. I always have a hard time finding. Here we go. Let's see. No. Is there anybody else live right now? Let me see here. We have... None of the people that I follow in this category are on right now. There's a couple people that have rated me many times. Come on, give me some people. Okay. Let's see here. Let's look for somebody that's got a minimal. Oh, here we go. Don't leave yet. Wait so we can raid. But thank you for coming in and hanging out with me. And thank everybody for your purchases and for just chatting and hanging out. Okay, let's see. Who can we raid? Let's go to... Here we go. We're going to raid in Vintage Color. He does antique holiday postcards in his weekly show. So you're ready?